A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. The Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But first, a ration point bulletin that's good news for all the ladies. Right now, until July 2nd, there's a brief holiday on points for the famous Kraft cheese spreads. Here's your chance to stock up for daily sandwiches that go to work or sandwiches that'll celebrate the 4th of July. 5 kinds of the delicious Kraft spreads are point-free. Kraft pimento, olive pimento, and relish spreads, and the tangy Roca and Kraft Limburger spreads. They're quality spreads, nutritious, handy, and such good eating. They'll keep all right in your refrigerator, be a big help with sandwiches and snacks and salads. Remember, you have only until next Sunday to get 5 delicious Kraft cheese spreads without spending any ration points. Now let's get up to date on The Great Gildersleeve. It's late Sunday night. The final week of campaigning is over, and only one day remains before the good citizens of Summerfield go to the polls to cast their ballots in the primary. It's been a hard week, but the decision now is in the lap of the gods, and candidate Gildersleeve is in the arms of Morpheus. Through his weary brain run troubled fantasies, and he tosses and twists in his sleep as he argues with himself. If he gets the nomination Tuesday, he's as good as elected.
That's nice.
And if he's elected mayor, Eve Goodwin has promised to marry him.
That's nice.
But if Eve marries him, Mother Goodwin comes to live with them.
No.
Throckmorton, dear.
Go away.
Time to get up, darling.
Oh, Eve?
No, darling. It's Mother. Throckmorton. Come, darling. The sun is shining. The birds are singing. And I have a nice bowl of grape nuts waiting for you. Throckmorton.
Take it easy, Mother. Tomorrow is another day.
But have you forgotten?
What?
This is your wedding day.
No. Well, Marjorie, aren't you going to wish your Uncle Luck?
Oh, Uncle Mort.
Why, Marjorie.
I'll never see you again. I just know it.
Why, of course you will.
Unc. Hey, Unc, before you go.
Little Leroy. What is it, my boy?
Unc, I'm sorry about everything.
Sorry about what? What are you talking about?
Come along, Throckmorton.
Oh, but Mother, I haven't even said goodbye. Wait, there's Bertie.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve. You're the best man I ever worked for, that's a fact.
Come along, Throckmorton.
Oh, look what you've done.
Come along.
Do you, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife?
I know you. You're Judge Hooker.
Answer the question.
I object.
Objection overruled. Do you or do you not take this woman to be your wedded wife?
I guess so.
That's better. And do you, Eve Goodwin, take this man to be your lawful wedded husband?
Of course she does. Don't you, Eve?
Now, Mother,
She takes him, Judge. Go on with the ceremony.
The ring, please.
Oh, Peavy, you got the ring?
Huh? Oh, yes. There's the ring. Let me see now. This ring, I have it here.
Well?
Just get my glasses on here. That's funny. I remember just as plainly.
Peavy, you're the worst best man in the world.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. Now, what do you know about that?
Have you got the ring?
Yes, there it was all the time, right on the end of my nose.
It's a wonder you wouldn't look there in the first place.
Place the ring on the lady's finger. That's right. Now, I now pronounce you man and wife.
Old goat.
$2, please. You may now kiss the bride.
There's no time for that. We got to rush for the train.
Train? What train? Where are we going?
On our honeymoon. Hurry.
Honeymoon? Eve, you don't mean Mother.
Oh, I wouldn't think of going anywhere without Mother, dear.
I can't go through it. I can't go through it.
Hey, Unc, time to get up. Gotta get up, Unc. It's almost 9 o'clock.
Where's my... What's your father? Gee. That you, Leroy?
Sure, it's me. What's the matter with you?
Oh, tell me something, Leroy.
What?
I'm not married, am I?
Are you kidding?
Of course I'm not married. We haven't even set a date for the wedding. Everything's all right, huh? Just a bad dream.
Hurry up, Unc. Breakfast has been ready for an hour.
Don't go away, Leroy. Leroy!
What's the matter?
Don't leave me, my boy. Stay here with your old uncle.
For corn's sake. Aren't you going to get dressed?
Right away. I'll get right up and... Where are my slippers?
Slippers? Where'd you leave them? Oh, here they are. Catch! Oh, gosh, I didn't mean to hit you, Unc.
It's all right, Leroy. It's perfectly all right. I forgive you.
Huh? What a character.
And my little Marjorie, my favorite niece. Good morning, my dear.
Good morning, Uncle Mort. You're pretty late for breakfast. He overslept.
Yeah, I overslept. I'm sorry. You're not leaving?
Oh, well, I finished, and I've got a lot to do today.
Oh, sit down with me here a minute, my dear. You too, Leroy. I want to feel my little family around me.
But I was going shopping with Eve and Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, they're not here yet. Oh, here. Here's $5 for a spring hat. A summer hat. Whatever you want.
Okay. Hey, what about me?
All right. Here. Buy yourself a football.
Gee, thanks. Is it all right if I get a first baseman's glove instead? And a belly protector?
Anything at all, my boy. I want to see you children happy.
I don't understand you this morning, Uncle Mort.
Well,
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, good morning, Bertie.
What kind of nourishment you hankering for this morning?
I need only the nourishment of your presence, Bertie. The nourishment of your warm, friendly smile.
Yes, sir, with a few scrambled eggs on the side.
That's right, Bertie. And plenty of toast and coffee. I'll bet I can eat like a paratrooper today.
Okay, I'll bring in the first installment.
Oh, that must be Eve and her mother now.
Oh, good morning, Marjorie.
Good morning, Mrs. Goodwin.
Oh, brother.
Come right in. Uncle Mort's just sitting down to breakfast.
Oh, breakfast, Mercy. We had breakfast 2 hours ago.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, Eve. Good morning, Mother.
Hi.
Sit down and have a cup of coffee while I have my eggs.
Thank you. That would be lovely.
Oh, Eve, if you don't mind, it upsets me to see food in the middle of the morning.
Just a few scrambled eggs, Mother.
Now, Throckmorton, you're going to have to learn my little ways. Otherwise, how are we going to get along after you and Eve are married?
Oh, Mother, really?
Leroy, go tell Bertie I'll have my eggs a little later.
You know, Throckmorton and Eve, I've been thinking about you children. And do you know what I think you ought to do?
What?
Why don't you elope?
Mother.
That's what I do. I wouldn't wait. I'd get married right away.
Oh, what a wonderful romantic idea.
You stay out of this, Marjorie.
Mother, you're putting Throckmorton in a very difficult position.
Just the position he wants to be in. I know men. They're always impatient. Now, I talked the whole thing over with Dr. Pendleton, and he says he can marry you Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday afternoon? Mother, that's day after tomorrow.
Why, Dr. Pendleton? Dr. Needham is the man I go to for all that. Dr. Needham is my pastor.
Well, I go to a different church, Throckmorton. If anyone but Dr. Pendleton performed the ceremony, I just couldn't consider you married. Now about the honeymoon.
Oh, Mother, this is ridiculous. Let's discuss one thing at a time, please.
You're right, Eve.
But there's nothing ridiculous about it. If you got married right now, I have a friend who owns a summer hotel, and you could get in before the season opens. You remember Helen Pepper, Eve? She has that little place on Lake Pascusi.
I don't want to go to Mrs. Pepper's hotel, Mother.
You must learn to think of your husband's pocketbook, my dear. If you go to a hotel out of season, it will make a substantial saving in the cost of your wedding trip. When your father and I went to Niagara, the falls were frozen solid, but our room was only $1 a day.
Why don't you wait till winter, Unc?
Leroy, this is a grown-up conversation.
Well, Leroy is my nephew, and he should be allowed to put in his 2 cents worth. That's not a bad suggestion, my boy.
Yeah, I'd like to see the falls frozen solid.
Well, you won't be there, Leroy. Hot or cold, you won't be there.
Well, you young people can suit yourself about the honeymoon, but I wouldn't put off this wedding if I were you.
But, Mother, why not? Why the rush all of a sudden?
Yes. Why the rush?
Well, I can't explain it, but I've just got a feeling in my bones.
Oh, now, Mother, those feelings in your bones.
Don't laugh at my bones, Eve. I predicted World War II. And I've got a feeling that if you two aren't married right away... Well, after all, neither of you are growing any younger.
Mother. I think Mother and I better go now, Throckmorton.
You just think it over now, and I'm sure you'll see it my way. It will be at our house, of course, Throckmorton.
At your house.
Come along, Mother, for goodness sake. Will you call me later, Throckmorton?
Yes, Eve. I think we ought to discuss this a little.
There's nothing to discuss. Come along, Eve.
Are you coming with us, Marjorie?
Oh, yes, I'm all ready. Goodbye, Throckmorton. Goodbye, Leroy.
Goodbye, Mother. Say goodbye, Leroy.
Goodbye, Grandma. Well, Uncle, you're all set, I guess.
Yes. I'm all set.
She's giving you a nice break, isn't she, Uncle?
How do you mean, my boy?
Well, I thought you didn't get to marry her unless you won the election.
Oh, well, the election is in the bag. The paper says I'm 2-1 over Terwilliger.
Yeah, Terwilliger's practically quit.
That's the trouble with Terwilliger. He's yellow. He could still win if he'd put up a fight. Why, if I... Listen, Leroy, you go on about your business. I've got work to do.
What kind of work?
Never mind. You go out and play. Go buy a baseball glove or something.
Oh, gosh, aren't you even going to eat your breakfast?
Later, my boy. I've got some phone calls to make first. Run along, Leroy.
Okay. Goodbye.
Now, I'll start with the A's. Adams. Hello, Mr. Adams. Are you a registered voter? Well, vote for Terwilliger tomorrow. Oh, never mind who I am. I'm just a friend of good government. The
great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. Meanwhile, I have some swell ration point news for the ladies. Between now and July 2nd, 5 varieties of the famous Kraft cheese spreads are absolutely point-free. Here's your chance to stock up for the 4th of July weekend. Here's your chance, lunchbox packers, to lay in a supply that'll help you with that daily sandwich chore. There's Kraft Pimento and Kraft Olive Pimento spreads, the tempting Kraft Relish spread, Kraft Limburger for real He-Man sandwiches, and Zesty Roca spread, too. Everyone is wholesome, nutritious, and such good eating. When you're shopping, get some boxes of Kraft Dinner, too. This 7-minute macaroni and cheese is also point-free right now. Tomorrow, save time, save points by getting Kraft cheese spreads and Kraft Dinner. Now let's hurry back to the great Gildersleeve, who by this time is a very uneasy man. It's Tuesday night, the polls have closed, dinner's over, and our candidate is down at his headquarters, biting his nails and wiping the sweat off his brow as he listens to the returns coming in.
Terwilliger 347, Gildersleeve 693.
That's the stuff.
Quiet, Judge.
9th Precinct, final returns. Terwilliger 531, Gildersleeve 1,539.
By golly, Gildy, it's a landslide.
Well, no, I couldn't say that.
Peavy's right, Judge. Terwilliger can still show some unexpected strength, you know.
Well, that seems to be all the returns we have at the present time. We'll bring you further returns
Turn
when
it off,
they're
Peavy.
available. Meanwhile, stay tuned to WSUM for complete...
Well, Gildy, the old fox has done it again.
Done what?
I told you I'd make you mayor, whether the people want you or not.
I'm not mayor yet.
Oh, don't be silly. You see the way the returns are going.
Well, now, there's an old saying, Judge. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
And there's another old saying, Peavy. There's many a slip twixt the cup and the lip.
Yes, and there's another old saying. Money a mickle makes a muckle.
Yeah. What's that got to do with this or anything else?
Well, nothing, I guess, but it's an old saying.
Well, keep it to yourself.
Well, no offense, Mr. Gildersleeve. I merely offered an observation.
Our friend seems a little testy this evening, Peavy. You don't suppose his high office has gone to his head already?
I'm tired, Judge, that's all. I've had a hard day. I'm sorry, Peavy.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Where have you been all day, Gildy? I haven't seen you around.
Oh? Well, I was down in the gas house district doing a little last-minute campaigning, Judge. The boys there told me it looked a little doubtful.
Oh, you've got nothing to worry about.
That's what you think, brother. Hey, what's that?
What?
That noise. It's outside in the street.
I'll go look.
Turn on the radio, Peavy, see if anything's happened.
It's a crowd, Gildy. They're gathering outside.
According to final returns, although there are several precincts yet to be heard from, Mayor Terwilliger conceded the election to his opponent, Mr. Gildersleeve, at 8:45 this evening.
Conceded?
As soon as complete returns come through, we will relay them to you without delay.
We want Gildersleeve. We want Gildersleeve.
They're calling for you, Gildy. They want you to speak to them.
I won't do it.
Oh, come on. Come at the window.
We want Gildersleeve.
Come on, Gildy. Say a few words to them. That's the stuff. Quiet, folks. Quiet, please. Quiet, quiet. Here he is, folks. I give you your newly elected mayor. Hooray!
What do you say, Gildersleeve?
I demand a recount.
Is that you, Unc?
Yes, it's me, Leroy.
Congratulations, Mayor Gildersleeve. Whoopee!
Congratulations, Unky darling.
Well, thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Gildersleeve. I never thought you'd make it, but you did.
Thank you, Bertie.
Gosh, my uncle's the mayor and my aunt's the principal of the school. That makes me practically the Prince of Wales.
Try to be a little quiet, my boy. I've had a very exhausting day. Oh, my goodness. Whoever that is, I don't want to see him.
I'll go. I'll shoo them away.
Good evening, Marjorie. Is your uncle home? Well, I saw him come in, honey. Oh. Well, he's resting. He's resting, Mrs. Ransom. Well, I just wanted to congratulate him, but I can do it tomorrow.
Is that you, Leila?
Oh, don't let me disturb you, Throckmorton. I know you're tired.
That's all right. Come on in.
Throckmorton, I heard about your victory over the radio, and I just want to tell you I think it's wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Leila.
That's nothing, Mrs. Ransom. He's going to get married tomorrow. What's that, Leroy? Uncle Miss Goodwin are going to get married.
Leroy, will you run away, please? Go upstairs and do your homework.
I haven't got any till September.
Well, do something.
Can I go out in the street and light a bonfire?
Yes, do anything you want, Leroy, only not in here. You too, Marjorie.
Come on, Leroy. Okay. Hey, let's go out on the porch and see if anything's happening.
Is that true, Throckmorton, what Leroy said just now?
I don't know, Leila. I guess so.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, Throckmorton, I've said this before, but I didn't mean it. I hope you'll be very happy. Honestly.
Why, Leila.
Aren't I silly?
Oh, I don't think so. I think you're one of the sweetest girls I've ever known.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton. Have you got a handkerchief?
Huh? Oh, here. No. Let me.
Oh, I ought to be ashamed. I'm pretty big to be.
Nothing to be ashamed of. I feel a little myself.
I don't suppose you'll be having a very elaborate wedding, will you, Throckmorton? On such short notice, I mean.
No. Just a families, I guess.
I thought so. If you'd had a church wedding, I might have just slipped in at the back for a minute, all by myself.
I wish you were going to be at this thing tomorrow.
Do you, Throckmorton?
Might make everything seem a little more familiar.
Oh. You won't miss me, but I hope we'll see each other occasionally after your... we aren't going to be strangers, are we?
Never, Leila. You stand for something in my life. You stand for...
He's right in the living room, Mrs. Goodwin.
Mrs. Good. Oh, for heaven's sake.
Good evening, Throckmorton. I couldn't wait to run over and congratulate you. I want you to... Oh, I didn't know you had company.
This is Mrs. Ransom, Mother. She's an old friend of the family. Lives right next door.
How do you do?
I'm so happy to meet you, Mrs. Goodwin. Throckmorton has told me such lovely things about you.
Really?
Oh, yes. And, of course, I know your daughter very well, but I must be running along. I imagine you'll be wanting to talk about the wedding and all.
Well, there are one or two things.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Any wedding is complicated, but these last-minute affairs...
Why,
Goodbye, Mrs. Goodwin. Goodbye, Throckmorton.
Goodbye, Leila.
I won't mention this to Eve, Throckmorton. It might upset her.
But there's nothing. But Leila and I are old friends.
Just the same, I'll keep it to myself. I simply came over to congratulate you, Throckmorton. I want you to know that Eve and I are proud of you. I'll be proud to have you as a son-in-law.
Well, I'll try to be worthy of you, Mother. I'll try to be worthy of Eve.
Oh, that's a fine spirit, son. Now we better plan a few little things about tomorrow. Have you packed?
Packed? I don't even know where I'm going.
Well, you'll be going somewhere. I've already started packing for Eve. You better get busy this evening.
I suppose so.
Now, when you're packing, I wonder if you put in this little bottle of iron tablets. Eve needs them, but she won't admit it.
Iron tablets? All right.
Make her take one before each meal.
Before I say.
Yes. And, Throckmorton, be sure to see that you get plenty of fresh air.
Oh, I will.
And one more thing.
Hey, turn on the radio. Something's gone wrong.
Huh? What are you talking about, Leroy?
I don't know. I don't believe it, but a guy just said it on the radio.
But Mayor Terwilliger has conceded the election.
Never mind, Mother. Let's listen to whatever it is.
Apparently the unexpected has happened. But then in politics, the unexpected often does. Veteran observers were recalling the situation in California in 1916 when Hughes went to bed president, only to find in the morning that Wilson had won.
What happened?
Anyhow, the fact is that belated returns from the so-called gas house district have wiped out Mr. Gildersleeve's lead and elected Terwilliger by exactly 3 votes.
What?
Isn't that terrible? I've lost.
Oh, Throckmorton, I can't tell you how sorry I am.
Oh, now, Mother, no use crying over spilt milk. I fought hard and Terwilliger won. That's life. Oh, that's politics. You got to take the bitter with the sweet.
You're very brave, Throckmorton. But I want you to know that Eve is brave, too. Eve will stand by you through thick and thin.
But, Mother...
And I'll stand by Eve.
By George, I'm going right over and talk to your daughter. You stay right there. Eve, I've got to talk to you.
Oh, Throckmorton, I'm glad you're here. Come in.
Your mother was just over at my house. I left her there.
I know. I couldn't stop her. Mother's so impulsive.
You heard how the voting came out?
Yes, darling, I heard. Come in and sit down.
I mean the final result. You heard that?
Yes, and I think it's a shame. You deserve to win, Throckmorton. You really did.
Well, it's the verdict of the people, Eve. We have to abide by it. That's democracy. That's what we're fighting for.
But to lose by 3 votes, to think that just 3 people did... Oh, it's not fair.
No, Eve. No use crying over spilt milk. Let the best man win. That's what I say.
You're a good loser, Throckmorton.
I haven't much use for any man who isn't.
Well, you made a wonderful showing, and I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. I want you to know that. I'm just as proud of you as if you'd won.
Well, I'm very grateful for your attitude, Eve. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful for your mother's attitude, too.
You must forgive Mother, darling, if she's a little overeager. I hope you understand.
Oh, I do.
You see, she's had to work hard, and her whole life's been wrapped up in us children. And now that Fred's in the service...
I know.
I'm afraid she still thinks of me as her baby. She wants me to have the best of everything.
Naturally.
And she thinks a great deal of you, Throckmorton.
I think a great deal of Mother. Eve.
Yes?
You remember about 6 months ago? You remember when you told me I ought to run for mayor?
I remember very well.
You remember when I first asked you to marry me?
You were very sweet.
And you said, maybe, if I won the election?
I remember.
Well, I've lost, Eve, and I'm ready to take my medicine.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're such a dear, silly fool.
Now, Eve, we made a bargain.
Throckmorton, did you think I meant that?
We made a bargain, and I intend to stick to it.
A bargain? Throckmorton, you make it sound so cold-blooded. Love isn't something you bargain with.
But that's what you said. If I got elected, you'd marry me. But I didn't.
Throckmorton, you're so literal. I only said that to make you try harder, silly.
You mean...
I never dreamed you'd take it literally. I certainly hope you don't think I'm the kind of a girl who would marry a man just because he was mayor.
Well, no, only...
And I hope you don't think I'd desert him just because he failed.
Well, no, only... Ye gods, how's a fellow going to know where he stands? I mean, 1 minute you say...
Throckmorton, let's not argue. Not now.
Why not? This is as good a time as any.
Not now, darling. You see, I have something to say to you, Throckmorton, and I don't know quite how to say it.
Oh, you need to worry about me, Eve. I'm not one of those fellows that proposes to a girl and then...
Please, dear. This is something that's going to hurt you, I'm afraid. And I don't like hurting you. I'm very fond of you, Throckmorton. Terribly fond of you. What's more important, I respect you. I think you're one of the finest men I've ever known.
I like you too, Eve.
I admire you. And I hope we'll always be good friends.
Huh?
I know how you must feel, dear. This is sudden and it may seem unreasonable, but... I've thought it over, and I'm sure it's best this way. You see...
Eve, wait a minute.
Yes?
Let me get this straight. You mean you can't marry me?
I'm afraid not, dear. Throckmorton, can you ever forgive me?
Oh, I'll try, Eve, I'll try.
Please do.
Yes, perhaps in time. Who knows? The pain will wear away, and I can learn to forget.
You're brave. You're so brave, Throckmorton.
I'll go away somewhere. Grass Lake, perhaps.
You see, dear, there were so many things. After all, there's Mother. My first duty is to her.
You're right, Eve. That's what I like about you. You know your duty, and you do it.
I could see you were never going to be able to get along with her.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I could tell. And then, too, I got to thinking these last few weeks, I did a lot of thinking.
Me too.
It occurred to me that maybe this was just one of those things.
Yeah, just one of those things.
Just one of those things that was never meant to be.
Yeah.
After all, when you come right down to it, we're not much alike, you and I.
Not at all. I'm fat and you're...
No, I mean, it's possible that we just weren't meant for each other.
Sure.
Maybe it was a mistake from the start. Maybe we were foolish ever to think of it.
Absolutely. Silliest thing I ever heard. Where do people get these ideas?
Throckmorton, let's face it.
What?
You don't love me, do you?
Nah.
I knew it.
Yeah. How about you?
I wouldn't marry you if you were the last man on earth.
Eve.
Yes?
Now that we're such good friends.
Yes?
How about a little kiss?
Good heavens, Throckmorton, this is where I came in.
The things I get into. Oh, brother, I need a vacation. We all need a vacation. So we're going to knock off for the next few weeks and play some camp shows and bond rallies. I'm starting out with Salt Lake City tomorrow night. This is our last broadcast this season. We'll be back again the first week in September at the same time and over these same stations. Before saying goodbye, we want to thank you for the encouragement you've given us through your letters and for your response to the government messages we've carried from time to time. To our sponsors, the Kraft Cheese Company, we're grateful for rare understanding and cooperation. And we want to give the credit due to all members of the Gildersleeve cast whom you've come to know. Bea Benaderet, who plays Eve Goodwin, Shirley Mitchell, who plays Leila, Lorene Tuttle, who is Marjorie, Lillian Randolph, she's Birdie, Walter Tetley, Little Leroy, Earl Ross, who plays Judge Hooker, Arthur Q. Bryan, he's Floyd the Barber, and Richard LeGrand, our Mr. Peavy. Thanks, too, to Claude Sweeten for his excellent music, to our writers John Whedon and Sam Moore for their words, Frank Pittman for his direction, and to Ken Carpenter, the dean of all cheese announcers.
Well, thank you, Hal. Incidentally, the Kraft people have donated this time next week to the Treasury Department for a big bond program. There'll be a lot of stars, and it looks like a great show.
Oh, fine. I'm sure it will be. Well, that's about all, folks, except I'd like to remind you that I made a new picture at RKO, and they're releasing it very soon in theaters from coast to coast. It's called Gildersleeve's Ghost. So do come around, and I'll haunt you. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Have a good summer.
This is the National Broadcasting Company. Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the Great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Whedon and Sam Moore, music by Claude Sweeten. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Pancakes hot off the griddle, a pat of delicious parquet margarine melting into each golden brown cake for extra flavor goodness, and then some syrup, jam, or honey to top them off. That's our idea of a good way to satisfy hungry appetites these crisp autumn days. And just as parquet margarine's fresh, delicate flavor adds such appetizing goodness to pancakes, so too parquet adds flavor that satisfies to many other foods. Millions of families enjoy parquet daily as a spread for bread, toast, rolls, and waffles. And parquet margarine is doubly welcome in these homes because it's such a fine aid to good nutrition, so high in food energy value, so dependable for vitamin A. Kraft adds 9,000 units of vitamin A to every pound of parquet. So for good nutrition, for flavor that satisfies, buy and serve Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Yes, Kraft makes parquet. Now, how goes it with the Great Gildersleeve? Well, if the sounds coming from the Gildersleeve kitchen are any indication, things should be going very well indeed. It's Friday, the morning after Bertie's night out, and she's whipping up a fine breakfast of scrambled eggs and sausages with a little ragtime thrown in.
He has no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and he's feeling rude, but if you don't give a feather or a thing, you may grow up to be a pig. I'm coming. You may grow up to be a pig.
Bertie, what's holding you up out there?
Come in, Mr. Gildersleeve, coming on a wing and a prayer.
What's the matter? What's the matter with you, Bertie? What makes you so frisky?
I don't know, Mr. Gildersleeve. I guess I'm just full of beans this morning.
Bertie's got the giggles.
I have not.
I'll bet she's in love.
Oh, you go on, Miss Marjorie. I ain't been in love since the last time.
When was that?
Beyond the memory of man. Finish up the prunes, Leroy. I got eggs waiting.
What'd you do on your day off, Bertie? Paint the town?
No, sir. I just fooled around, and then last night I went to the movies. Me and Lily B.
Oh?
She always goes to the movies. What'd you see, Bertie?
Picture called Going My Way, Bing Crosby.
Were you there? I didn't see you. Wasn't it wonderful?
Oh, it sure was.
Hey, Marge went to the movies.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you've got to see that picture. They got little man there. I don't know who he is, but they got little man in
Barry Fitzgerald. He's darling.
He kills me, that man.
Hey, how is it Marge gets to go to the movies when I don't? Of course, I've always thought Bing was darling. Of course, he's an older type than Van Johnson.
Oh, well, if I may say so, my dear, some of us older types have more to offer than the younger ones.
Listen, I'm asking a question here. How is it Marge gets to go to the movies at night when I can't? I'm older than you.
Yeah, she's an older type.
Perhaps when when you get to high school, you'll be allowed to stay up at night, too.
Oh, go soak your head.
Finish your prunes, Leroy.
Finished. Okay, Bertie, take it away.
Leroy?
Yeah?
Here at Gildersleeve Manor, Leroy, we do not gulp our prunes.
You told me to finish them.
Neither do we spit our pits onto our plate.
You want me to swallow them?
No. We simply remove them delicately, one by one, young man, with the aid of a spoon, and lay them beside our saucer. I see I'm going to have to take you in hand.
I wish somebody would.
As for you, young lady, I'd like to speak to you about last evening.
To me?
Yes, you. Unc wants to speak to you. Go ahead, Unc.
In my own good time. You didn't tell me, my dear, when you went out last night you were planning to go to the movies.
We weren't. It just came over us later.
Who'd you go with? Everett, I suppose.
None of your business.
I thought you were never going to speak to him again.
Well, that was yesterday. We made it up at the movies.
Just as I suspected. You'll go to no more movies with Everett.
I don't know why you're so mean about Everett.
I don't like his father.
Everett is a very nice boy. And it may interest you to know that he's going to be a missionary.
A missionary? When was that decided?
On our way home from the picture last night. He's either going to be a missionary or a fighter pilot.
Leroy, what would you like for your lunch? Would you like a peanut butter sandwich or cheese or Swiss cheese? What you want? Or would you rather be a mule?
There she goes again.
You really better see that picture, Mr. Gildersleeve. You'll love it.
Oh, as a matter of fact, Bertie, I did see it.
What? When?
Last night, my dear. Leroy was asleep upstairs, and I was all alone here, so I sneaked out by myself.
I ask you, is that justice? Everybody goes to the movies but me.
Now, Leroy, your turn will come.
Yeah. Miss Margie, I don't like to rush you, but I see Francis, you ain't coming up the street.
Oh, my goodness, Francie, I must be late. Oh, I am late. Goodbye, Uncle Mort.
Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye, Leroy. Goodbye, Bertie.
Leroy, say goodbye to your sister.
Goodbye, Mort.
Not with your mouth full.
Goodbye. Don't forget your lunch.
Are you going to be warm enough in that thing?
My books, where are they? Somebody got me. Oh, dear. Well, goodbye. Hey, Francie, wait up.
Well, that's one of them off. Leroy, you better be getting ready.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned it, Unc.
Mentioned what?
I'm glad you reminded me. I might have forgotten. I've got a thing here.
What kind of a thing?
A note. If I can get it out of my pocket.
A note from whom?
Stuck. I'd like to know who put chewing gum in my pocket.
Come on, let's have it.
There you are, Unc. Note.
What have you been doing? Sleeping on it? How long have you had this?
Couple of days, I guess.
Couple of...
I forgot.
Appears to have been open, too.
It came open.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, they aren't putting the stuff in those envelopes anymore. That's probably the war.
Yes. Summerfield Grammar School, office of the principal. Leroy, this is from Miss Goodwin.
Yeah, I know. You haven't heard from her in quite a while, have you?
That's neither here nor there. Let's see. Dear Mr. Gildersleeve, it's been brought to my attention that Leroy and a number of his friends have been hanging around the school after hours and getting into trouble. I feel that a word from you... Leroy...
It's not my fault, Unc. Honest, the whole thing is Tony's fault. He keeps getting me into trouble. It's Tony.
Who's Tony?
A boy in my class. He sits right across from me, and he keeps getting me into trouble. I tell him not to do it, but he keeps doing it. Bigger than me, too. He's bigger than me. He got left back twice.
Now, wait a minute.
Yes, sir?
You're a big enough boy to know how to keep out of trouble and behave yourself?
Yes, sir.
I don't know what we're going to do about you, Leroy. I really don't.
It's a problem, all right.
I suppose I really ought to spend more time with you.
Yeah, maybe if you'd spend more time with me, I wouldn't get into so much trouble.
Well, I've always been meaning to. I would if I weren't so busy.
You're not busy now, huh?
What do you mean?
You haven't got a job? You don't do anything but sit around?
I have a great many things I'm considering, Leroy, and it takes all my time. Now, you get along to school.
Yes, sir. Here's your lunch, Leroy. Thanks, Bertie. Goodbye, Unc.
Yes. Confound it, Bertie. I'm going to have to do something about Leroy.
Oh, he ain't a bad boy, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, I know, Bertie. What is it that makes boys get into mischief?
Well, maybe it's like it was in that Bing Crosby picture, Mr. Gildersleeve. Maybe they need an older man to sort of give them a hand.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
You know where that Mr. Crosby there, he got all them boys together and taught them how to sing like a choir so they quit stealing turkeys?
Yes, sir. Bertie, I think you're on the right track. The choir, eh? By George. I'll get them all together tomorrow morning.
Okay, Piggy, this time you're the center and I'll carry the ball. Leroy, you try to break up the play.
Gosh, Tony, when do I get to carry the ball?
When I say so. Now, all set?
Leroy! Oh, Leroy!
Hey, Unc, you want to get in the game? Come on, Unc.
Not just now, thank you. Come here a minute, please, Leroy.
Oh, what for, Unc? I told you we're having a game. Tony and Piggy and...
Come here, please, my man.
Oh, for corn's sake. Time out for a minute, fellas.
Don't be talking to him all day, Leroy.
Okay. What do you want? I'll make it snappy, will you?
I'll not make it snappy. I have something to say, and I'll take as much time as I require. Who's that boy that said don't be talking all day?
Him? That's Tony. He's the best forward passer in the 7B.
Oh, so that's Tony. Well, I want to talk to him, too. I want to talk to all of you.
What are you going to do, give us a lecture?
No, my boy. Not going to give you a lecture. I'm going to try to guide your activities. Give you something wholesome to do. It'll be fun, Leroy.
We're having fun.
This will be more fun. You'll enjoy it. All of you. I'm going to teach you to sing.
Oh, not on Saturday.
It's a fine day for it, and I'll call the other boys over here.
But, Unc, we don't want to sing. We're playing football.
Leroy, will you please do as I ask?
Okay. Shall I tell them what you want them for?
No, just get them over here. I'll tell them.
Okay. Hey, fellas.
More lung power, Leroy.
Hey, fellas, come over here a sec.
Who said so?
I said so. Come here, Tony. Come over here, Piggy. I want to tell you something.
Oh, for
Okay, Mr. Gildersleeve. I don't think Tony is going to like this, Unc.
We'll see, Leroy. At least I want your cooperation. You understand? Well, boys, good morning.
Oh, hi, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Piggy? And you're Tony, I presume. I'm Leroy's uncle.
Yeah, I know.
Well, boys, now that I've got you all together, football is all very well. But if you're going to keep out of mischief, you need other interests, more wholesome interests. And one of the finest pastimes there is for boys is singing. It develops the lungs.
Well, let's get it over with, fellas. What do you want us to do, Unc?
We'll sing a jolly song. We'll sing it in harmony. Doesn't that sound like fun? Well, it is fun. Yes. Now, first, I'll give you your notes. Leroy, you sing do. Do. Come on, Leroy.
Gosh. I'll cut it out, guys.
Yeah, quiet, fellas. Sing the note again, Leroy. Do. Yeah, that's fine. Now, Piggy, you sing so, huh? Mm-hmm. Do, so.
I can't, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Let me hear you try. So.
So.
That's Leroy's note, Piggy. Do, so. Now sing so.
So.
You're not trying, Piggy.
Yes, I am, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Once more now, huh? So. What's the matter with you?
Now, I don't know. The music teacher at school says I'm tone deaf. That's right. That's right. He can't sing for sour apples. You better forget the whole thing, Unc. It'll sound terrible.
I don't care how it sounds. We're going to sing anyway. Piggy, you sing do on any note you please. Leroy will take the so, and Tony can take... Tony, where are you going?
I'm going home.
You can't go home. We're just starting to sing, fellow.
I didn't come over to sing. So long, Leroy. So long, Piggy.
Come here, young man.
Oh, wait a sec, Tony. I'm coming with you.
Piggy.
Wait a sec, Tony. I'm coming too.
No, you're not, Leroy. You're going to stay here and sing.
But,
You're going to sing whether you like it or not. But by George, if I ever run into that Bing Crosby, what a faker.
Greg Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. Shop early is good advice these days. Not only does it save your own time and your food dealer's valuable time, but by shopping early, you're more likely to get those choice foods that are always in big demand. Now, that's especially true of parquet margarine, for delicious, nourishing parquet is a first-choice spread for bread with millions of American families. Of course, one reason so many people want parquet is because its fresh, delicate flavor makes bread, rolls, pancakes, and waffles taste so good. But equally important is the wonderful nourishment that parquet provides so economically. You see, Parquet is one of our very best energy foods, and it's also a good source of vitamin A. Kraft adds 9,000 units of this important vitamin to every pound of Parquet. So tomorrow, be sure you shop early for delicious, nourishing Parquet. Parkay. Parquet margarine. Remember, Kraft makes Parquet. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve and his campaign to reform the bad boys of Summerfield. Undiscouraged by his musical experiment, he's enlisted the aid of Judge Hooker, and together they're on their way to the drugstore to talk to Mr. Peavy. But let's see what's going on there before they arrive.
Oh, Masterful Comics is no good. I like Commando Comics. You're nuts, Leroy. Commando Comics is corny. Captain Magic is the best. Captain Magic is nothing but pictures of dames. Hey, Tony, isn't Commando Comics the best? Nah, Captain Magic, huh, Tony?
They both stink. Come on, guys, let's get out of here.
Well, now, that's the best suggestion I've heard so far.
Oh, wait a minute, guys. I got some money. Let's see the candy, Mr. Peavy.
Is this for yourself or for a friend?
Are you kidding?
Well, yes, I was. You can see all I've got right there on the counter, Leroy.
How much are these?
They're all the same price, 5 cents. All nationally advertised brands. That is, all but the peppermint. I put that up myself.
How much dough have you got, Leroy?
A dime. I can buy 2 kinds.
Oh, you can't get anything decent for a nickel. Let's match and the winner gets a soda.
Okay. You got a coin to match with?
No, say, Doc, let me have a nickel for a second, will you?
I don't encourage gambling in here, young man.
Oh, this ain't gambling.
Oh, we're just going to match to see who gets the soda, Mr. Peavy. It isn't gambling, Mr. Peavy.
Come on, Doc, be a good guy and cough up a nickel.
No, I won't.
Okay. Come on, Leroy. We'll spend your dime over at Beckman's. Come on, Figgy.
Okay.
Beckman's is better than Peavy's anyway.
Sure. Beckman's is better than Peavy's. Beckman's is better than Peavy's.
Now, go on. Go to Beckman's. You can give all your trade to Beckman's.
Beckman's is better than Peavy's. Beckman's is better than Peavy's.
Jigger, listen up, right? What's the ticket, Leroy?
Those are the brakes,
Yes, I'll deal with you later, Leroy. Darn kids will wind up gangsters.
Well, much obliged, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Huh? Yes. We got a proposition I think will interest you, Peavy.
From what we've just seen, I'm sure it will.
Is this a business proposition?
No, this is more what you might call a service to the community. Now, we know you're a public-spirited man, Peavy.
I've made my contribution to the war chest, Judge.
Oh, this is different.
Stop beating around the bush for us. Peavy, we're organizing a boys' club. Something to keep the boys of Summerfield off the streets.
Worst place there is for the boys, Peavy.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I'd be more interested in a project to keep them away from my magazine stand.
Yeah, well, this club will do the trick. It'll keep them off the streets, keep them out of pool rooms, drugstores. The boys will just stay in their club where they can't bother anybody.
The way you describe it, it sounds a little like a jail.
Not at all, Peavy. They'll love it.
Why, sure. Chief of Police has promised to cooperate.
Besides, we're putting in a Parcheesi board.
Good game, Parcheesi. Quite a lot of skill to it. It all depends on where you put your blockades. Now,
I haven't got time to listen to your Parcheesi system, Peavy. We've got to organize this club. Can we count on your support?
Just what would that involve, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Nothing financial, Peavy. Floyd Munson has given us the place over his barbershop for a club room. The judge and I are taking care of all the details. All we want from you, Peavy, is some refreshments. Could you bring over a few Coca-Colas?
I think I could make that contribution.
Yeah, we're all set then, Peavy. Judge, we can open her up tonight.
By golly, Gildy, I believe we can.
We owe it to the boys, men. How about it, Peavy? Can you come to the grand opening?
I'll try, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You'll try nothing. You'll be there and bring the refreshments. How does the flag look there, Floyd?
Fine. Looks like a regular club room now.
Yeah, the flag lends a patriotic note. The boys ought to like that. Don't you think so, Judge?
You bet. Yeah, I think we've got everything just about ready. You might pull that table over in the middle of the room, Floyd, under the light, so the boys can see to play their game.
I'll give you a hand with it, Floyd. Okay.
we ought to get this piano tuned sometime.
What's the matter with that piano? Perfectly good piano. A few cigarette burns don't affect the tone.
Aunt, how long do I have to sit here?
Oh, you don't have to sit there, Leroy. You can get up and move around if you want to.
Thanks. When can I go?
You can't go. I've told you that.
Oh, gee.
Listen, Leroy, if Judge Hooker, Mr. Munson, and I can give up a whole Saturday afternoon and evening to fixing up a clubroom for you fellas, you can darn well stay here and enjoy it. You understand?
Okay.
Have a fig Newton, Leroy.
No, thanks.
Take one. Ye gods, we're only doing this for you boys.
But there aren't any boys here, only me.
Well, I don't know what's keeping them. Did you pass the word around as I told you to?
Yeah, it's got around all right.
Did you invite Piggy?
Yep.
Tony?
Yep.
Well, if Tony comes, the others will come, won't they?
I guess so.
What did Tony say when you asked him?
He said he wouldn't come near the place with a 40-foot pole.
Well, boy's a bad influence, all right. Proves the need for this kind of thing.
Hey, here comes somebody. We got a customer.
Hello. Anybody up there?
Oh, it's Gate. Come on up.
It's the chief of police.
The chief of police?
Yes, you needn't be alarmed, Leroy. Chief has agreed to sponsor our little club. Isn't that fine?
Are you kidding?
Well, I see you brought a customer with you, Chief.
Yes. I found this little fella hanging around outside. Come along, Sonny. You've got nothing to be scared of.
Piggy! Hi, Leroy. What happened? I didn't see him coming.
You did? Well, I see you've got the place fixed up real nice. Well, it looks fine.
Piggy, you know everybody here. Mr. Munson.
Hi, Piggy. About time you came in for a haircut, isn't it?
And Judge Hooker, you know him.
Hello, Piggy. Have a fig Newton.
No, thanks. You better have one, Piggy. Oh, okay.
Take two. They're small.
Take two, Pig.
Now, Piggy, we want you boys to feel entirely at home here. This place is yours, and we want you to regard it as such. Am I right, gentlemen?
Right.
Take your feet off the table, Leroy. We men are here only to help you have a good time, boys. We'd like you to regard us as your big brothers. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, what would you like to do?
I don't know.
We got all kinds of equipment here. Would you like to play Parcheesi, huh?
Well,
Sure. There's nothing like a good, lively game of Parcheesi. How about it?
if you say so.
Wait a minute. Maybe he don't want to play Parcheesi.
Certainly. We got other games. How would you like to play Pin the Tail on the Donkey?
Oh, for corn's sake.
Quiet, you. Of course, if we play Pin the Tail on the Donkey, we'll have to ask the judge to step outside, or somebody might pin the tail on him. Well, don't just sit there, fellas. What do you want to play?
If you'd like to know what we'd really like to play,
Yes?
we'd like to go down to the Y and play basketball with the other fellas.
After all the work we went to here?
Now, Gildy, we don't want to force the boys to remain here if they don't want to.
Oh, doggone it.
Of course, if they go now, they won't be allowed to come back.
That's right.
If they go now, they won't get any Coca-Cola.
That's right.
If they go now, they'll be missing a lot of dandy fun.
That's right.
But the choice is up to them. What do you say, boys?
We'll go.
Oh! Well, go on, then, both of you.
Come on, Pig.
Go ahead, get out of here. And don't come back. The darn kids, you try to do something for them, and what thanks do you get?
My goodness, what's going on up here?
Peavy.
Hello, Phoebe.
I'm sorry if I'm late, gentlemen, but I brought the Coca-Cola.
Hey, I could go for a Coke right now.
Oh, but it's easy for the boys, Floyd.
Nuts to the boys. Let's open them up.
Well, I don't understand, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Seems our little club is something of a flop, Peavy. Evidently not good enough for them.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I think it looked very attractive.
Got an opener, Peavy?
Right here.
Oh, look out, Floyd. It's running over.
Grab it, Floyd. That's the stuff. Open one for me, Peavy.
Boy, that's good.
I believe I'll have one too, Peavy.
There you are, Mr. Gildersleeve.
That's more like it. You know, I'm kind of glad those kids left.
Me too. They kind of throw a damper on things. You know what I mean?
I don't know what's the matter with boys these days. They don't know how to have fun.
Oh, speaking of fun, what would you gentlemen say to a few hands of pinochle? Got a deck down in the shop.
Good idea. What do you say, Phoebe?
I'm afraid I ought to be getting home, gentlemen.
Bourgeois, Peavy, stick around. Hey, Judge, open a bottle for the peeve.
One Coke coming up.
Yeah.
No, really, gentlemen, I've got to drive.
Yes, you got it. For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow. Come on, Floyd. You play the piano in a broken-down sort of way. How about a little harmony?
Yeah, a little harmony.
Huh?
Yeah,
Now, wait a minute. Come over here, Peavy. Now, I'll be the conductor.
Says who?
Quiet, you. Now, Judge, here's your note. Do. Yeah, a little bushy. That's right. Now, hold on to it. Floyd, you take, me. Yeah, that's your note. I'll take, so. And Peavy, you take, do. Can you make it? Do. Congratulations. Oh, and the chief. Chief, can you?
Do.
Great.
There is a tavern in the town,
No, Peavy. Now, wait a minute. I know a little, huh? Dear old girl. Oh. The robin sings about you. Dear old girl. It speaks of how I love. My tears are falling as I think of my lost pearl, and my broken heart is calling for you, dear Hey, that wasn't bad.
No, I wouldn't say that.
There he goes.
Say, this is fun, do you know it? We ought to do this more often.
Yeah, we ought to do it once a week.
Tuesday nights, that's when the wife plays bridge.
Well, Fridays is better for me.
Oh? How about you, Peavy? What's a good night for you?
There's no such thing as a good night.
Oh, no, that's no attitude, Peavy. We got to do something about Peavy's attitude, fellas. It hasn't been right lately.
Yeah, I've been noticing.
Peavy, you're a bad boy.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
I'll tell you what, fellas. We'll call it the Jolly Boys Social Club. For men only. No women. If any kids come around, we'll throw them out in their ear, huh?
Hooray for the Jolly Boys.
Yeah.
There is a tavern in the town.
Peavy.
And there my
All
true
right,
love sits
Peavy,
him
have it
down,
your own way.
sits him down
And
makes
it wine with laughter free. And Well, folks, Gildersleeve was kind of silly again tonight. I guess he had the right idea there, but he went at it in the wrong way. Even Gildersleeve ought to know that Leroy is better off playing basketball down at the Y. In other words, the way to help out the boys in our community is to support the organizations that know how to handle the problem. It's a big one right now because there are a lot of kids knocking around the streets these days with no one to take care of them or supervise them. Their fathers are in the service, and their mothers are helping in the war plants. In almost all communities now, the agencies that look after the welfare of youngsters are supported by a cooperative organization called the National War Fund. Of course, that's not all it does. It also supports the clinics and hospitals, visiting nurses associations, provides special care for crippled and undernourished children, and many other local services. This is in addition to the important work the War Fund does all over the world. It supports thousands of clubs for our servicemen and women, and our merchant seamen, sends aid to American prisoners of war. It includes the relief organizations of our fighting allies. It's a mighty big thing. I don't see how they accomplish all they do. But you can see they need money. So when one of your neighbors calls on you to ask for a contribution to the National War Fund, remember what he represents and be generous. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Kraft presents the great Gildersleeve. Kraft Cheese Company, makers of parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products, presents Harold Perry as the great Gildersleeve. Kraft brings you the great Gildersleeve every week at this time, written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore, music by Claude Sweeten. From the great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Good, nourishing foods, as you well know, disappear mighty fast from your dealer's shelves these days. And that explains why sometimes he may temporarily be out of delicious parquet margarine that's made by Kraft. Yes, Kraft makes this nutritious, fine-flavored spread for bread. And, of course, Kraft is doing everything possible to keep your dealer supplied. These days, however, so many people prefer parquet margarine that dealers often find themselves hard put to keep up with the demand. So our advice is, watch your food dealer's refrigerator or his refrigerated display case and buy parquet whenever there's a new supply on hand. Remember, parquet is an excellent energy food and is fortified by Kraft so that every pound contains 9,000 units of vitamin A. And it's such a delicious, satisfying spread for bread. So look for and always ask for parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, parquet margarine made by Kraft. What of the great Gildersleeve? Well, he's broken into the papers again. The Summerfield Indicator of October 26th bears an editorial headed, Watchman, What of the Night? And we may be sure that it's not escaped the attention of the great man himself. So let's drop in there and see how he's taking it.
The action of Mayor Terwilliger in removing Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve from office and installing his own cousin, Dan McCarthy, as water commissioner can be attributed to nothing but politics.
You said it.
Mr. Gildersleeve may not have been perfect, but at least he had one virtue. He kept the water running.
You're darn right.
If Mayor Terwilliger has any hope of being reelected on November 7th, he will straightway return Mr. Gildersleeve to office.
Hooray!
Now they're talking.
Hooray for us!
Isn't that wonderful, Uncle Morris?
I don't like that part there where it says I wasn't perfect.
Oh, don't be silly. Nobody's perfect.
Now, Marjorie. Bertie, you think that's any way for a girl to talk about her uncle?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, if you was perfect, you'd be up with the angels, which thank goodness you ain't.
Oh, Uncle Mort, I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Now, my dear.
I'm glad they showed up, that old Terwilliger, the old fool. I'm glad they finally gave you credit. Uncle Mort, I must say you don't seem very excited. I should think you'd be thrilled.
Well, it's gratifying, my dear. Gratifying to have one's humble efforts recognized at last, even though the recognition comes too late.
Too late? If you ask me, it's just in time. In another week, we might have been eating grass.
We were at no time an actual want, my boy.
Well, now what was all that you were giving us about we had to cut down? Why am I beating my brains out trying to scrape along on a 15-cent allowance? 15 cents? That ain't a living wage.
That's not a living wage.
You're darn right it's not.
I was merely taking precautions, Leroy, during the period of my temporary unemployment to guard against a rainy day.
Boy, I thought it was here.
Well, it's gone now. The mayor will have to make a commissioner again, won't he, Uncle Morris?
It doesn't seem to have occurred to anyone that I may possibly not be interested in the commissionership.
Not interested? Don't tell me you're not going to take it.
I have never sought public office, my boy.
I Are you kidding?
At any rate, I do not seek it at this time.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you ought to take it.
Sure you should.
Amen.
What makes you say that, Bertie?
I got the milk bill this morning.
Oh. You think I should take it, do you? You think that being water commissioner is the best your old uncle is capable of, do you?
You could do worse, Uncle Mort.
You're doing worse right now.
As you grow older, my boy, you will learn that it's best not to leap to conclusions until you have all the facts in your possession.
What do you mean?
In exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes, your uncle has an appointment to confer with some of the biggest executives in the country.
Yikes! What do they want to confer with you for?
Is that so strange, my boy?
Oh, no, but I wondered why you had your best tie on.
How do I look, my dear? Like an executive?
Like $1 million. But, who are you going to see, Uncle Mort?
Well, I wouldn't want this to get beyond these walls, my dear. But I saw Nelson Humpstone yesterday out at the factory.
He's back from Detroit?
And not only that, he's brought with him some of the big shots from International Bolt and Screw.
Oh, You think they might want to talk to you about a job?
Well, they certainly don't want to run me for president. My hat, my dear. Leroy, my walking stick.
Your walking stick?
You heard me.
Well, you haven't used that in years, huh?
The occasion for it has not arisen.
I don't see what you want to use it now for.
Because, my boy, I'm meeting these men for the first time. And first impressions are very important.
Well, that's just what I mean.
Leroy, get the walking stick.
Gildersleeve.
Hello, Peavy. Have you got a decent cigar in this so-called drugstore?
Well, I have your regular brand, Mr. Gildersleeve.
You haven't answered my question. I want the most expensive cigar you've got, Peavy.
Let me see. I've got these at 25 cents each. Sounds expensive.
Is that the best you can do, 25 cents?
Well, it could raise the price a little. Anything to accommodate a customer.
It's not just the price, Peavy. I want a cigar that's not just a cigar. One that'll make an impression, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. You're not thinking of an exploding cigar, are you?
No. And I'm a bit of a hurry, too, Peavy.
Well, now, here's a cigar that has a certain distinction.
Well, let's see it.
The Salome Perfecto. You see, it has a picture of the dancing girl on the band there. Has a certain feel to some people.
No salamis, Peavy. Look, what I want is a cigar that I can offer to a big, important executive without being ashamed of it.
Oh, well, you want the Garcia Profundo.
Oh, do I?
Yes. You see, it says right here on the box, the cigar of distinction for distinguished men.
That's for me. I'll take 4.
Well, you must be expecting to meet a lot of distinguished men today.
I am, Peavy, I am.
Anybody I know?
I'm not saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you a little hint, though, Peavy. A certain manager of a certain manufacturing concern here in this town has just returned from Detroit with certain executives to discuss filling a certain job. They have their eye on a certain man. You get it? Yours truly.
Oh.
Sorry, I can't tell you any more, Peavy. But I wouldn't want this to get around. You know what the competition for these big jobs is like. Dog eat dog.
Mm-hmm. Dog eat Humpstone.
What? How did you find out about Humpstone?
Well, you almost broke up my phone booth last week trying to get in touch with him, if you remember.
Oh, yes, that. Well, I'm due over at the plant there in half an hour to meet some of the big shots. Confidentially, Humpstone tells me I've got the inside track.
That's so? The inside track must be a little crowded.
What do you mean?
Well, Frank Jessup was in here this morning. You know him.
Jessup? Oh, yeah, he has the Buick agency over on State Street.
He had the Buick agency. He's out there at the plant right now.
He is?
Yeah, and then there's Walter Kornblum. I hear he's been...
Kornblum? Oh, my goodness, it must be all over town. I'd better get over there.
Look, Mr. Gildersleeve, your cigars.
Cigars? Oh, yeah, let me have them, Peavy.
I hope they do the trick.
Well, they ought to, at $0.25 apiece.
If it's any comfort to you, Jessup bought the 2 for 15 centers.
Oh, great. I'll let him beat me to the draw, then I'll move in with a big gun. Mr. Humpstone, it's me.
Come in.
Oh, thanks. Well, here I am.
You're early, Gildersleeve.
Better early than late, I always say. Yes, sir. Punctuality, very important in business.
Just put your hat on the file there.
It won't be in the way.
No, not at all. Have a chair.
Thanks.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve? Well, Mr. Humpstone? Today should tell the story, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Have a cigar.
Oh, no, thank you. As a matter of fact, just a tip. We discourage smoking here at the plant.
Oh?
Yes, you see, J.G. doesn't smoke himself, and he doesn't like to see any of the men smoke either.
J.G.
Our executive vice president. You'll meet him in just a few minutes.
Oh, yes. Well, I never smoke on the job myself. Just happen to have these things with me, so I thought if anybody could use them, maybe I'd better get rid of them before we...
No, just put them out of sight. J.G. is a funny duck. You have to know just how to handle him.
Oh, how's that?
Oh, you will catch on. Now, A.K. is different. A.K. has a great sense of humor. Only you never know when he's kidding.
Oh, how do you find out?
You'll find out. It takes a little time, but for now, just take your cue from me. When I laugh, you laugh. Now, there's nothing to be nervous about.
Oh, I'm not nervous. Not me. I understand, though, that you've been interviewing a number of men for this position.
Well, naturally, we want to cover all the possibilities. But don't worry, you're still in the lead.
Well, that's fine.
Yes, you see, this position calls for some knowledge of hydraulics.
Hydraulics?
Yes. And with your experience in the water department, we
Oh, yes, I ran into plenty of those hydraulics down there at the water department. Oh, plenty.
Yes, Miss Pickens?
J.G. will see you now.
Well, J.G.'s ahead of schedule. How did that happen?
He's been cutting his interview short.
Uh-oh. In a bad mood today?
Brother.
After you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, no. Oh, no. After you.
Uncle Mort. Do you think he was impressed or not?
I tell you, Marjorie, I have no idea. The man just sat there like a bump on a log. Didn't say anything, didn't ask any questions, just stared at me like an idiot. Humpstone did all the talking. I don't think the man is all there.
Tell me something, Unc. What does this job pay?
I don't know. Besides, it's none of your business.
Leroy, can't you see Uncle Mort's upset?
Well, as long as he was there, I don't see why he couldn't ask.
God, that was no time to bring up money. That's not the way these things are done, Leroy. I imagine it pays a good $4,000 or $5,000. I don't care what it pays. I don't think I want the darn job anyway. Not if I have to work for an old fool like that. Sat there like a wooden Indian.
Telephone.
Yeah, I'll take it. Hello? Humpstone? Yeah. 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 Well, thanks, Humpy. Yeah.
What is it?
What do you know, kids? Humpstone ran into J.G. in the washroom, and he likes the cut of my jib. Yeah, that's what he said. He likes the cut of my jib.
You mean he likes you?
Likes me. I'm in, kids. I'm practically in.
Hurry up, he's in the chip.
Oh, wonderful.
By George, that J.G. is a smart hombre. He doesn't say much, but you know, all the time he sat there looking at me, I had the feeling he could see right through me.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. And that's the time we're going to use for some important reminders about Parquet Margarine, a nutritious spread for America's bread. You see, during the next few weeks on this program, you'll be hearing about other Kraft quality food products. So we'd like to remind you briefly of the important way Parquet Margarine contributes to good family nutrition. First, there's the splendid food energy Parquet provides so economically. And second, Kraft guarantees that every single pound of Parquet Margarine contains 9,000 units of important vitamin A. And they're both needed every day for good family nutrition. Of course, you should remember, too, Parquet's fresh, delicate flavor and how good it tastes on bread, toast, rolls, and waffles. Yes, Kraft makes this delicious, nourishing spread for America's bread. So remember always to ask for Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet Margarine, made by Kraft. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. Full of executive fire, he spent the afternoon in his study, straightening out his papers, throwing away unpaid bills, and spinning around in his desk chair. Now, he and his family have enjoyed an early supper so that Bertie can attend a war chest meeting, and Gildersleeve is topping it off with a cigar.
Say, movies?
Not me, Leroy. You and Marjorie can go if you want to.
Oh, boy, come on, Marge. Why can't you go, Uncle Mort?
I'm going to stay home and do a little planning tonight. Think up some new ideas for the factory.
Come on to the movies, Unc. Suppose you think of something and then you don't get the job. All that thinking would be wasted.
No thinking is ever wasted, my boy.
Are you kidding? Yesterday I learned my geography cold and the teacher didn't even call on me. Had my hand up the whole time.
Well, maybe she smelled a rat, Leroy. Learn your lesson again tomorrow and keep your hands in your pockets.
Hey, you might have something there.
Always work for me. And don't worry about me getting this job. The only question is, when do I start work? Uh-oh. See who it is, Leroy.
Okay, Unc.
That darn kid, Marjorie, isn't so different from the kid I was, you know it.
Really, Uncle Mort? Oh, I just can't believe you were ever as terrible as Leroy.
Oh, yes, I was. Well, the majesty of the law.
Good evening, Throckmorton. Marjorie.
Hello, Judge.
Have a chair, Judge.
Thank you. I am the bearer of an important message for you, Gildy.
Yeah?
By the way, I'm not holding up your supper, am I?
No, Judge. We've already had it.
Oh.
Those are the breaks,
That will do, Leroy. What's the important message, Horace?
It's from Mayor Terwilliger. He wants you to accept the water commissioner's portfolio again.
Horace, you can tell the mayor to take the portfolio and blow soap bubbles through it.
But, Gildy, this is the job you wanted. Best job you ever had.
Got a better one now, Judge. You're looking at the man who's going to be Nelson Humpstone's new assistant at International Bolt and Screw. Or possibly his associate.
Well, when did this happen?
Went out and saw him this morning. Nothing to it.
Is it really sewed up, Gildy?
It's in the bag, Horace. Just a few details to be settled.
Yeah, it's all settled except the money.
Leroy, there's at least $4,000 or $5,000 a year in it, Judge.
But have you really got it? How'd they ever come to pick you?
Well, who else in this town knows anything about hydraulics?
What do you know about hydraulics?
Well, I bet I could learn all about it in 10 minutes. By George, I think I'll go down to the public library right now. They must have a book.
Dozens of them.
I'm going to do it. I'll glance through a few of these books. When I see those fellows tomorrow, I'll know more about hydraulics than old John W. Hydraulics himself. Wonder why it is that all libraries smell the same. Books, I suppose. People, too. Oh, well. Pardon me. I'd like a book on...
We don't allow smoking in here.
Oh, pardon me. You got an ashtray?
Well, hardly.
Oh? Wastebasket? Oh, I see one. Don't move. Yeah, good shot, wasn't it?
That might start a fire.
Oh, no, it was out. Have you got a book on hydraulics?
Oh, yes. Elementary or advanced?
Well, I'm not sure. Just what are hydraulics?
Hydraulics is the science of water pressure and so on.
What? Well, then I know all about it. Water. Well. Certainly. Give me the advanced book, please, miss.
Mrs.
Oh, pardon me.
I'll get it for you.
Mrs. I'll bet Mr. something. Yeah, I'll bet he is. I'll bet he wears a nightcap and reads the Atlantic Monthly in bed.
Do you wish to take the book out or read it here?
Oh, I'll just glance through it here. Can I sit any place I please?
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you, Mrs. The laws of hydromechanics. That sounds good.
Would you mind keeping your feet on your own side of the table?
Oh, sorry. The general properties of fluids are as follows.
Would you mind reading to yourself?
Oh,
Or don't you know how?
I'm just as good a reader as you are. Gee, I'm surrounded. How can anybody read when it's so darn quiet?
Is this chair taken?
No. Oh, Eve Goodwin.
Throckmorton, I didn't see you.
Oh, you have to be quiet in here, Eve.
I know.
Well, imagine meeting you here.
I'm the one who should be surprised. It's awfully nice to see you.
Well, nice to see you, too. It's been months.
Would you mind conducting this reunion somewhere else?
How would you like a punch in the nose, mister?
Oh, so you're a rowdy, too.
Throckmorton, you'll be thrown out.
Thrown out? Not by that bookworm, I won't. Come on, let's take a walk, Eve. I want to talk to you.
But I just got here.
It's all right, so did I. Come on, you can read any time.
Goodbye, everybody!
By George. Good to get out of there. Stuffy.
Yes, it is. How on earth did you happen to be here?
Well, I was going to do a little scientific reading, Eve. Hydraulics. But I found I knew all about it.
You haven't changed, have you, Throckmorton?
Oh, lost a little weight. How's your mother?
Well, she's all right. She's not living with me anymore, you know.
Oh, you don't say.
No, she went to live with my sister in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, I love Pennsylvania. Yeah, you must miss her a great deal. Fine woman.
Well, I did miss her at first. I've been quite lonesome, Throckmorton.
I've been lonesome too, Eve.
Oh, a man never needs to be lonesome. But a girl has to spend her evenings in the library.
Well, we ought to see more of each other, Eve. We used to have a lot of fun.
Yes, we did.
I don't see why we couldn't have that same kind of fun all over again.
We're not engaged now, Throckmorton.
Well, we had plenty of fun before we were engaged, Eve.
Now, Throckmorton, we haven't seen each other in quite a while.
Oh, take it a little easy, huh?
Take it very easy. I saw the editorial in the paper this morning. I was so proud of you.
Oh, that. Yeah, Terwilliger wants me back. Sent Judge Hooker crawling over to see me, begging me to come back.
That's very flattering. How did you happen to leave the water department?
Terwilliger I resigned. We had a difference of opinion on policy. It was him or me, so I quit.
I, Throckmorton.
It was him or I, so I...
He.
Certainly seems like the old days, Eve.
I can't help correcting you, Throckmorton. I'm always so surprised when you make a mistake. Are you going back as water commissioner?
Nope. Got something much better, Eve. Private industry.
Oh, really? What is it?
A fellow named Nelson Humpstone runs the war plant here. Yeah, it's a subsidiary of International Bolt and Screw. Humpy wants me as his assistant. Or possibly his associate.
Sounds interesting. How did you meet this Mr. Humpstone?
Through Leila Ransom. She knows him pretty well.
Oh.
Nothing between them or anything like that, of course. I mean, Leila arranged this meeting as a favor to me.
I see.
Yeah. Leila'd do just about anything for me.
I'm sure she would. Throckmorton, are you sure you're being wise to go back to private business?
Well, why, certainly. It's a good job, Eve. Fine opportunity. Why not?
Well, I thought when I read that editorial this morning, I thought how much you have to give the people of our city.
All I ever give them was water, Eve. What are you getting at?
Oh, you came awfully close to being nominated for mayor last June.
I don't want to run for mayor again.
Well, something bigger then. You have great capacity for leadership, Throckmorton.
Oh, you think so?
I've always thought so.
Well, maybe I could become a big man in business, Eve. I imagine this job with Humpstone would pay $4,000 or $5,000 a year.
Is that so much more than the water department pays?
Well, no, but the future...
Well, money isn't everything. You could be a great public figure. Your name could be known to thousands of people. Maybe millions.
Millions? Well, I kind of like that. On the other hand, that's kind of a gamble.
Well, of course, if you never want to take a chance.
Well, Hey, we're here already.
Yes. Good night, Throckmorton.
Oh, Eve, I've hardly seen you. Aren't you going to ask me in?
I don't believe so. You've apparently lost something that was quite important to me, Throckmorton.
Lost something? What have I lost?
Your youth. The Throckmorton I knew had a marvelous spirit of youthfulness, of daring, of faith in himself. He had courage and vigor. He wasn't afraid to take a chance.
Well, I'm not afraid to take a chance, Eve. I've still got all those things.
How can I tell?
You'll see. I'll show you. Eve, let me come in for just a few minutes.
Well, Throckmorton,
Just a little tete-a-tete for old time's sake.
All right. For old time's sake.
Well, good morning, Commissioner. Glad to see you back.
Daniel McCarthy, Water Commissioner. We'll soon change that.
Mr. Gildersleeve!
Well, if it isn't Bessie.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'm so glad you're back. Oh, I can kiss you.
Not this morning, Bessie. Is McWhat's name here?
Mr. McCarthy, yes, he's in your office. He's got the desk all cleaned out. He's ready to go. Shall I announce you?
No, let him enjoy himself a little longer. Oh, well, hi, George. Same old office. Same old water cooler. Same old hat rack. That hat rack is a disgrace. Is this McCarthy's hat?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you look so funny.
Oh, yes? Must have a head like a peanut, that guy.
Are you Gildersleeve? Hey, what are you doing with my hat?
Oh, well, I thought it was one of mine when I was younger, before inflation set in. Yes, I thought I'd left it in here.
Oh. Well, would you care to step into my office for a moment? Take care of the formalities?
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes. Well, I guess there's not much to say. The books are up to date. You can have them audited as of today if you want to. Now, here's the combination to the safe.
Oh, thank you.
Key to the office, key to the desk, key to the, down the hall.
Thank you, McCarthy.
You're welcome. I guess that's everything.
Yeah, I guess so. What are all those papers on the desk?
Complaints.
Complaints?
Complaints.
Well, I hope you'll be able to find, I hope you'll soon be able to announce your new connection.
You mean you hope I'll get a job?
Well, yes.
Don't worry about me, Gildersleeve. I've got a better job than you'll ever get.
You? Ha!
Yep. IB&S, assistant to Nelson Humstone, $10,000 a year.
$10,000 for a tete-a-tete. When am I going to learn?
Gildersleeve, what time you want breakfast in the morning?
7 o'clock, Bertie.
7 o'clock?
7 sharp. Starting work again tomorrow. Got to be up with the birds. Down there early, on my toes. In there punching right from the start.
Yes, sir.
Make it 7:30.
Do I hear 8?
8 it is, Bertie. Good night, Bertie. Good night, everybody.
Music on this program was directed by Claude Sweeten. This is Ken Carpenter speaking for the Kraft Cheese Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Kraft invites you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
Here's how to bring out hidden flavors in meat, add new zest to salads, create new interest in vegetable, egg, and cheese dishes. It's easy as can be. Simply add an extra flavor tang to foods with Kraft Salad Mustard. This zestful golden salad mustard is prepared to Kraft's own special recipe. Blends with luscious smoothness into keen-tasting cream sauces for hot-cooked vegetables, adds delicious flavor to deviled eggs, puts an extra tempting tang into French salad dressings, gravies, pickle relishes, and barbecue sauce. Be sure to try this Kraft quality salad mustard soon. It's so appetizing in so many tempting ways. Also, be sure to pick up a jar of that sharper horseradish-flavored mustard, Kraft mustard with nippy horseradish added. Your dealer has them both. Kraft horseradish mustard and tangy golden Kraft salad mustard.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
Yeah.
It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's join the Great Gildersleeve, who is up early this morning. There's a nip of autumn in the air, but Gildersleeve is taking his morning bath just the same. And we can hear him.
I love life and I want to live. I love soap. Darn soap. Oh, well. I love life and I
want... Boy, these hotcakes are really super. Shoot the syrup, will you, Marge?
Here. Leroy, you don't have to drown them.
Oh, what's it to you?
You waste so much syrup.
I won't waste any. I'll use it up with some more cakes.
Your table manners are disgusting. You'll be sorry if you're ever invited out anywhere.
I got swell manners when I go out. Gosh, did you hear Unc singing up there? He feels swell today.
I know. I know why, too.
Yeah, why?
Mrs. Ransom is coming home today.
Gosh, is that any reason for him to go crazy?
Singing isn't crazy.
No, but he shaved twice. And he gave me 75 cents to go to the football game next Saturday. Didn't even argue.
You'll understand someday, little boy.
Ah, you think everything is love, romance.
I love life.
Here comes the great lover now. Hey, Bertie, Unc's coming down.
Well, good morning, Marjorie.
Good morning, Unky.
I told Bertie you were here, Unc.
I heard you, my boy.
Is that a new shirt, Unky? It's lovely.
PK. I bought it yesterday.
It looks so rich.
Post-war shirt. Haven't been able to buy this kind of stuff.
Good morning, Bertie, thou priceless jewel.
Good morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. You want eggs or hot cakes this morning?
Take the hot cakes, Unc. They're super.
You've tested them thoroughly, have you, Leroy?
Yeah, I'll say.
He's been eating like a pig.
Well, there's a certain amount of pig in every boy, my dear. I'll try the cakes, Bertie.
Yes, sir. I got some bad news for you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, bad news, eh? What is it?
The refrigerator's on the blink. The milkman says we'll have to have a new motor.
Oh, well, I'd expect it someday. I'll attend to it this morning.
Positively?
Positively. Bring on the hot cakes.
Yes, sir. If the stove is still working.
Well, glorious morning, isn't it, children?
Yeah, it's a tip.
Say, Unky.
Yes, my dear?
Oh, never mind.
What is it, Marjorie?
Nothing. I was going to ask you for something, but I won't. It'd be taking advantage of you.
What do you mean?
Well, you're happy this morning, and I know why.
Yeah. Oh, dear, my smart little niece. Well, if you're too nice to ask for anything, I'll have to be nice, too. You can go down to Hogan Brothers and get anything you want up to $5.
Oh, Unky. Oh, Unky, you're a darling.
You think so?
Uh-huh.
That reminds me. I've got to make an important phone call. Will you excuse me, children?
Surely, Uncle Mark.
How do you like that? $5. All I got was a lousy football ticket. Behind the goalpost.
I didn't ask for anything.
Oh, no.
Hello, Summerfield Grill. This is Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. This is Water Commissioner Gildersleeve. Yes. I'd like to reserve a table for 2 at luncheon today, please. About 1 o'clock. Gus.
I wonder if you could give me that little booth in the corner. That's right. Yeah, thank you very much.
For corn's sake, I could have a seat on the 50-yard line.
Hi, Commissioner.
Hello, Floyd. You take care of me pretty soon?
Why, sure. Come on in. Take off your coat. I got a friend of yours under the towel here, but he'll be through in a minute.
A friend, eh? Well, let's see. Who do I know with big, flat feet? And a little round potbelly.
Wazoo!
Yeah, and the voice sounds familiar. Is that his nose sticking up there like Fujiyama?
Now, you see here, Gildersleeve.
Well, Judge Hooker, I never thought it was you.
Oh, you're not fooling me for a minute. If I were as fat as you, I'd go slow making fun of other people.
I'll have you know, Horace, that I've taken 3 inches off my stomach this summer.
You have? Looks like you just moved it around the rear.
All right, Judge. What's the matter, Commissioner? Can't you enjoy a joke?
Yeah, where's your sense of humor, Gildy?
I'd like a mustache trim, Floyd, if you're through with this comedian.
Climb right up there, Commissioner. I'll make you look like Ronald Coleman.
Don't strain yourself, Floyd. Getting prettied up for a certain party, Gildy?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
Well, I don't know who you're trying to fool, Throckmorton. It was in the paper she's coming home today.
Oh, that widow, Mrs. Ransom. Yeah, I saw that in the paper.
Well, who the devil put it in the paper?
Leila probably wrote the society editor. She always calls up when she's giving a party.
Publicity. Why do people want it?
Women, they're the ones that like it. Every time my mother-in-law comes over from Sauk City, my wife calls up the paper. Mr. and Mrs. Floyd Munson are entertaining Mrs. Munson's mother for a brief visit. When she finally goes home, they print that, too.
The mustache, Floyd. I can't spend the day here.
Okay, Commissioner. The old lady keeps a scrapbook. She's got that item pasted in there 20 times.
Floyd.
Okay.
Going to meet Leila, Gildy?
I thought of it.
How'd it be if I go along? Give her a little surprise.
Hey, I got a better idea. Why don't we all go down and meet her? The Jolly Boys are getting together tonight anyway.
Mrs. Ransom is coming in early this afternoon.
Oh, that's too bad. We could have a lot of laughs. Why don't I try to round the boys up right now? She'd probably get a big kick out of it.
I don't think so, Floyd. It wouldn't be very dignified.
Dignified? The girl likes a little fun, don't she? I always thought she did.
I don't care to hear your thoughts regarding Mrs. Ransom, Floyd. And I'm opposed to the whole idea of the Jolly Boys meeting her.
Mr. Gildersleeve is right, Floyd.
Thank you, Horace.
I think the nicest thing would be if just you and I went down to meet her, Gildy.
Oh, why, you nosy old goat.
Gildy, we'll give Leila a nice surprise together. I gotta go to my office for a few minutes, but I can meet you at the station. What train's she coming in on?
What train?
Yeah.
The 12:15 train, Judge.
All right, I'll be there. Here, Floyd.
Thanks, Judge.
See you at the station, Gildy.
Well, he kind of put one over on you there, didn't he, Commissioner?
You think so, Floyd?
Uh-huh.
Finish me up. I got to get out to the airport.
Flight number 6 from Savannah, Chattanooga, and Washington, coming in on runway 2. Passengers will unload at gate 1.
Trying to make this one-horse airport sound like LaGuardia Field. Well, only one gate must be gate 1.
Oh, just wait here, please, sir. Only passengers and employees come through.
Oh. Say, aren't you the fellow that was talking through the loudspeaker?
Yes, that was me.
Huh. Why don't they let the people off?
They're coming now, sir.
Oh, yes. Oh, there she is. Leila! Leila! She's waving. I guess she sees me.
Yes, I guess so.
I wasn't talking to you.
Wasn't it darling of you to come and meet me?
Leila. Am I glad to see you?
Oh, Throckmorton, what will people think?
Anybody can kiss anybody in railroad station.
But this is an airport.
Well, if the airlines outlaw kissing, they'll lose a lot of customers, I can tell you that. Where's your baggage, Leila?
Oh, well, this is all I have, this little bit of handbag. I got so many new clothes down home I had to buy a trunk, and they won't let you take a trunk on a flying machine.
Oh, let me carry your handbag.
Oh, thank you, Throckmorton.
Come on, Leila, let's get in the car.
All right. Oh, I wonder if I could make a phone call first. There must be a booth here.
Well, sure, only what's your hurry?
Well, it won't take but a second, Throckmorton.
Well, the booth's right over there. I'll wait here at the newsstand.
Oh, you're a darling. I won't be a minute now.
What a girl. George, it must be great down south. Imagine a whole town full of Leilas.
Did you want a magazine, sir?
Are you running the newsstand, too?
Yes, but I'm closing it up now. I've got to go over and open up the ticket office.
Well,
What did I tell you, Throckmorton? Wasn't I quick?
Oh, you certainly were, Leila. Come on now, we'll drive into town. I'm taking you to lunch at the Summerfield Grill. And I hope that guy isn't the waiter. I've reserved a booth, Leila.
Oh, Throckmorton, if I'd only known.
Well, what's the difference? Surprise.
Well, it's simply sweet of you to have thought of it, and I'm heartbroken I can't go.
Can't go? Well, I'd counted on it, Leila. A nice lunch and then maybe a nice drive out by the reservoir.
Oh, it sounds heavenly.
Well, come on.
Well, I can't, Throckmorton. I just called my hairdresser, and if I get there in 15 minutes, she can take me.
Hairdresser? Leila, are you standing me up for that?
Oh, now, darling, I was hoping I might see you tonight after supper.
I was hoping to see you this afternoon.
I'll be lots prettier this evening, and I've got a new dress I think you like. At least I hope so.
New dress?
Mm-hmm.
Leila, you haven't got the dress in this little bitty handbag.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drop around right after supper.
We'll be back with the great Gildersleeve in just a moment.
Mr. Lang, didn't you make a slight error at the start of this program?
Why, no, not that I know of.
Well, I thought I heard you say the Kraft Foods Company presents the great Gildersleeve.
That's just what I said, the Kraft Foods Company.
But isn't the name Kraft Cheese Company?
Not anymore. From now on, it's the Kraft Foods Company. Because, you see, the Kraft Company not only makes a wide variety of fine cheese and cheese foods, but also is known for many other top-quality food products. For example, Parquet margarine.
Parquet is one of my favorites. Such a delicious spread for bread, hot toast, and rolls.
It's a favorite of millions, because Parquet margarine has a fresh, delicate flavor that is still unmatched by any other brand.
I found it's economical, too. Only about half the price of costly spreads.
And don't forget, the maker of this delicious, economical spread is the Kraft Foods Company.
I stand corrected, Mr. Lang. I'll remember. Kraft Foods Company.
That's right. Parkay. Parquet margarine. Made by the Kraft Foods Company. Try it soon. You'll be glad you did. Well, now let's see what's in store for Gildersleeve. That's what the great man himself is wondering as he sits twiddling his thumbs at his desk in the water department. But perhaps we'd get a better idea if we looked in on Peavy's drugstore, where the proprietor is welcoming back an old customer.
Nice to see you back, Mrs. Ransom.
It's nice to be back. What kind of a summer did you have, Mr. Peavy?
Hey, quiet.
Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Peavy, how's she?
No, she can't complain. Or perhaps I shouldn't say that. On the whole, she's been pretty well.
Oh, that's good. Tell me, Mr. Peavy, how is Mr. Gildersleeve these days?
Mr. Gildersleeve? Well, he was in here the other day for a bottle of rhubarb and soda, but I don't believe it was anything serious, just a temporary upset.
Well, I mean, what's he been up to this summer?
Well, I really couldn't say.
Nothing new, then.
Well, you know Mr. Gildersleeve. He's hard to keep track of. One day it's one thing, and the next day it's something else.
Aren't you right?
Was there something, Mrs. Ransom?
Oh, yes. I want to get a lipstick. I'm afraid I lost mine on the plane.
Lipstick, yes, indeed. I seem to have quite a selection here. Now, here's one that's put out by Houbigan's reliable firm. Has good wearing qualities, so they tell me.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's one that goes by the name of First Blush. That's the name of the color.
Oh, I'm afraid that would be a little light.
And I got another one here that's called Shame. I take it that's a little redder.
Well, what's this one?
Just let me see that. Oh, yes. This one is called Savage Dawn. That more the kind of thing you had in mind?
Well, that's very nice, too. Now, if you were a man, Mr. Peavy, which of these colors would you prefer?
Well, I'd say that either of them ought to do the thing.
But, which do you react to yourself, personally?
Well, I don't know anything about these things, Mrs. Ransom. I just sell them. Ladies come in here asking for them, so I have to stock them. But I guess they're both good, serviceable lipsticks.
Oh, you're so old-fashioned, Mr. Peavy. You probably think any woman is a hussy if she even uses lipstick.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, I guess I'll just have to decide for myself, then. You know, I think I prefer Savage Dawn. Is that wicked of me?
Mrs. Ransom, the way things are going these days, I don't know how anybody's going to tell what's good and what's bad. I just try to break even myself. That'll be $1.
Oh, there you are.
And 2 cents for the governor.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting.
Grab it up for you?
Oh, don't bother. I'll just put it in my handbag. Well, goodbye, Mr. Peavy.
Goodbye, Mrs. Ransom, and good luck with your lipstick. Lipstick. Booby traps. Wonder who she's after this time.
Good old Throckmorton, always early. Oh, thank goodness I'm dressed. Throckmorton, is that you down there?
Who are you expecting?
Silly, the door's open. Go in the parlor and make yourself comfortable. You hear? I'll be right down. Now, do I look all right? Is anything showing? How's my hair? Well, it'll have to do. My lipstick. My new lipstick. Where is it? I had it in my handbag. No, I took it out. Now, where did... Leila, darling, what are you hurrying for? Don't you remember what Mama said? Always keep them waiting.
Where is she? Where is she? In the name of heaven, what's she doing up there? 45 minutes by the clock. Ye gods. I could be doing things. I could be at the Jolly Boys right now. I could be home paying bills. I could be reading a book even, but no. 8 o'clock, I said. Just wait till she comes down here. I'll give her a piece of my mind. Yes, by George. Hello, Leila.
Kept you waiting terribly long.
Not at all. I just arrived, practically.
I'm so glad. I was afraid I might have kept you waiting. Do sit down.
Thanks.
Well, aren't you glad to see me? Aren't you glad I'm back?
Oh, of course I am. Gosh.
Then what are you sitting way over there for? Oh, that's better. I hate having to shout across the room, don't you?
Hate it.
Here we can talk nice and comfortably. Or whisper even, if we had anything to whisper.
I know something.
What?
How about a little kiss?
No.
Come on.
No. I'm very angry with you, Throckmorton.
What for?
Because you never once wrote to me all summer.
Gosh, I've been busy, Leila. You don't know how busy I've been. I've been terribly busy, really. I kept intending to write to you, but...
I know. You were busy.
That's right.
Well, it doesn't really matter in the slightest, Throckmorton, because if you had written to me, I should probably just have torn the letter up.
Why?
Too busy to read it.
Hi, George, you got a great sense of humor, Leila. That's what I always say. As long as a girl's got a sense of humor, I don't care if she's... Well, that's the main thing, a sense of humor.
You don't care if she's what, Throckmorton?
Nothing. What kind of a summer did you have, Leila? How was Savannah? Did you have fun?
Well, yes and no. It was all terribly complicated. I'll tell you about it sometime.
What's the matter with right now?
Right now, I'd rather forget.
Oh?
That's what I came back up here for, to forget.
Forget who? What?
His name is Lightfoot Dupree.
Lightfoot?
Oh, Throckmorton, why don't things ever work out?
Why doesn't what work out? Who is this guy? What's this all about?
Well, it was just one of those things, I guess. He was engaged to my very best friend, the girl I was visiting all this time. So, naturally, there was nothing I could do about it.
Did you try?
Throckmorton, she was my very best friend. The worst of it was I found out he was in love with me, too. Terribly in love. That's why I cut my visit short.
Cut it short? You were down there 3 months. I thought you were coming back the 1st of August.
Well, anyway, that's why I've come back, to try to forget.
Well, you've come to the right place, Leila. You want to forget? I'll be glad to help you. Let's start right now.
As if I could ever forget Lightfoot Dupree.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess it was just one of those things that could never be.
Sure, forget it. What do you want to feel sad for, Leila? I'm here. Why, I gave up an evening with the Jolly Boys just to be here with you tonight.
Oh, did you, Throckmorton? Aren't you sweet?
Sure, I could be playing poker right now.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're so understanding.
I can be a lot more understanding than this.
You knew I'd be needing you this evening. You will help me forget, won't you?
Will I?
Throckmorton, what was that?
Me?
Oh, no. No, I thought I heard a sound outside.
I didn't hear anything.
Sounded like prowlers on the porch.
Now, don't you worry, Leila. I'm here.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have a man around the house.
Leila, now how about it, huh? A little kiss.
Do you always have to ask?
Yeah.
Throckmorton, don't move.
Why not?
The window. Look, it's opening.
Leila, hold me tight.
All right, fellas, that's very funny. Now get out of here. Go on, get off the property. Beat it. Listen, you fellas, do you want me to call the police?
Police? Who do you think is singing bass?
Leila, I apologize. I don't know what's gotten into them. I'll go out there and get rid of them.
Oh, don't send them away, please. That would be terrible.
That's the way they behave.
Well, I think it's delightful to be serenaded like this on my first evening home. I think it's very flattering. Let me speak to them. Won't you gentlemen come in? What's she saying?
Oh, no offense, I hope, ma'am. Just a little joke on the commissioner.
Oh, gracious, I should say not. Come right in. And Mr. Peavy.
And the fellas got me into this, Mrs. Ransom. I was just on my way home.
Oh. I'm glad you came. Horace.
Welcome home, Leila.
Oh, Horace, I'm glad to see you.
It's good to see you, Leila. I would have met you at the airport if our fat friend here hadn't played me a dirty trick.
I resent that. I'm not fat.
Well, you got even with him, Judge.
Oh, Mrs. Ransom, you know Mr. Munson.
Oh, sure. Hiya, Mrs. Ransom. How's it going?
Close the door, Floyd. You were the last one in.
Yes, where were you brought up, in a barn?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, well, I just think it was wonderful of all you boys to come over like this. I'm so flattered. I was telling Throckmorton it reminds me of Mardi Gras when all the men go around serenading the girls. Now, if Mr. Peavy were just wearing a funny face...
What's the matter with the one he's got on?
Only kidding, Pete.
Say, that's an idea. Why don't we serenade the lady as long as we're here?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, do sing. I'd love to hear you.
Oh, we do pretty good on Home on the Range, huh, fellas?
Yeah.
How about it, Commissioner? You take the lead.
No.
Oh, come on,
Oh,
Commissioner.
do sing, Throckmorton, please.
No.
Why not? I'll play the piano for you.
I don't want to.
All right, Floyd, you take the lead. What'll we sing?
Well, let's see.
There is a tavern in the town.
No.
Well, what'll be then?
Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the waterline. From the field there comes the...
No, that's terrible.
What's terrible about it?
Everything. I don't like the song. I don't like the way you sing it.
Well, you know so much. Let's hear you sing something.
And while we're about it, I don't like you fellas coming over here and busting in like this.
Can't you take a joke?
Boys. Let's remember there's a lady present. Let's be jolly boys, shall we? After all, this is supposed to be a tribute to the fair sex.
That's right. It's a tribute to the fair sex.
Say, how about I dream of Jeannie with a light?
Oh, I love that one, Horace. That's one of my very favorites. Do sing it.
Yes, Jeannie. I dream.
Just a minute, please. Just 1 minute. Huh? If you're going to sing, for heaven's sake, let somebody sing the song who can sing it.
Attaboy, Commish, attaboy. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll do this, Leila, and see if we can repair the damage. I dream of Leila.
Yeah.
With the light brown hair. Born like a zephyr on the summer air. I see her tripping where the bright streets play. Happy as the daisies that dance in her way. Many were the wild notes her merry voice would pour. Many were the blithe birds that warbled them o'er. I dream of Leila with a light brown hair, floating like a zephyr on the soft summer air.
I declare I love y'all.
The great Gildersleeve will be back again in just a moment. There's a well-known saying that names make news, and a few days ago, this change in a time-honored name made news in the food world. It was an announcement that the Kraft Cheese Company has changed its name to Kraft Foods Company. And here's the reason. Throughout 40 years, Kraft has built a reputation as maker of some of the world's finest cheese and cheese foods. But over the years, Kraft has created other top-quality food products. So the new company name is designed to include all these quality foods. And, of course, one of these important foods is parquet margarine, the delicious spread for bread that's a favorite of millions because of its superior quality and its fresh, delicate flavor. So in the future, look for the new name, Kraft Foods Company, on each package of delicious, economical parquet margarine.
You, Leila, are a blend of the western skies, and the moonlight beams on the girl of my dreams. She's the sweetheart of 6 other guys. Good night, Leila. Good night, everybody.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry and is written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Beacon. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Do the children in your family like cheese? Then you can just bet they like Pabst-ett. It's so rich in mellow cheddar cheese flavor, so easy to digest. Pabst-ett is a cheese food that contains the nourishing food values of milk. And it's simply delicious, spread on bread or on crackers, or melted into a luscious cheese sauce for macaroni. And now that ration points are no longer required, you'll want to buy both delicious varieties, Golden Pabstet and Pimento Pabstet. Ask for Pabstet, the delicious cheddar cheese food, when you shop tomorrow.
This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's join The Great Gildersleeve. After a day at the office, or almost a day, he has dropped into Peavy's pharmacy, where we find him concluding a small transaction.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Call again.
Maybe I will, Peavy. Don't take any wooden nickels. Hey, what's this? Looks cute.
That, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Oh, men's perfume, eh?
Oh, it isn't exactly perfume. I believe it's called a grooming essential.
It's a perfume, no matter what they call it. I'm surprised to find you displaying it.
Well, I was forced to put it in, Mr. Gildersleeve. Young fellows want it. They say women find it attractive.
You don't believe that, do you?
I don't know. These young fellows seem to use up a lot of it, and they keep coming back for more.
Oh, but this notion about women...
Well, I only know what they tell me, Mr. Gildersleeve. I've never tried it myself.
I'm glad to hear it. If a man can't attract women without dousing himself with some kind of stinkum, he shouldn't admit it. What's it smell like?
It's inoffensive. It's supposed to smell like pine needles. Here, I'll open one of these, and you can have a sniff.
Don't bother. Pretty fancy bottle.
Yeah, make a nice table ornament after it's empty. I can't seem to get the top off of the darn
Let me
thing.
do it.
No, I've got it. If I could get...
Oh, Peavy!
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'm terribly sorry.
All over my vest. I'll smell for days.
Oh, no. It wears off in a few hours.
Well, an ordinary dose might. You spilled half the bottle on me.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's not a bad smell.
Mr. Gildersleeve, would you be interested in buying the rest of the bottle?
Doesn't smell as good as all that, Peavy.
Well, I can price it quite attractively.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, you've got about $2 worth on you already.
What?
Yes, it's a $5 item. But I'll let you have the rest of it for $2.50. Nice ornament.
I don't need any ornaments. I don't believe it's going to excite any women either.
Well, have it your own way. All I know is a lot of young women buy it for their husbands.
They do?
Yeah. Let you have it for $2.
Well, all right. But wrap it up, Peavy, and get this through your head. I'm not buying this because I need it.
You don't have to tell me, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, it's me, Leroy.
Hey, a package. What's in it?
Nothing for you, my boy. It's shaving lotion.
Oh. Phew, is that what I smell? Must be powerful stuff.
I accidentally spilled some on my vest. Doing your homework?
Yeah.
Possibly you could concentrate better if the evening paper wasn't so near you. May I have it?
Sure, I finished it.
Yeah, so I see. Hi, George. I don't know why I read the evening paper. Same stuff I read this morning. Now I think of it, the morning paper had the same stuff I read last night. Nothing happening, I guess.
Good evening, Unky. Leroy, have you seen my notebook?
Oh, good evening, my dear.
Unky, what have you got on you? You smell simply delicious.
You think so? Peavy sold me some stuff.
What's the name of it? You smell just like Wallace Weber. He was 2 seats away from me in history this morning. It was heavenly.
Well, I believe it's called spruce. Spruce up with spruce or something like that.
Gosh, is that spruce? Women are supposed to faint when they smell it.
How do you know, Leroy?
I read an ad in Esquire.
Leroy? I forbid you to read Esquire till you're 21. Is that clear?
Oh, for corn's sake. Did Leroy give you the message from Miss Goodwin, Unky?
He did not. Confound it, Leroy. What's the matter with you? What was the message?
She wants you to sing at a PTA meeting tonight.
Oh, we should both forgotten it.
Oh, I thought you liked to sing in public.
Not particularly, my dear. And anyway, there's something about those parent-teacher meetings.
Between the singing and the perfume, you'd have the ladies swooning.
Yeah.
Mr. Gildersleeve!
That will do, Leroy.
Well, anyway, I told Miss Goodwin I'd give you the message.
All right, my dear, you've given it. I will not sing at any PTA meeting tonight.
Okay. Leroy, have you seen my notebook?
What notebook?
The new one. The one with... Oh, there it is. Leroy, have you been using it?
Why would I want to use your lousy notebook? Gosh, I think everything you own is so wonderful.
Well, you leave my things alone in the future, and if you... Leroy! Uncle Mort, look! All over the first page of it.
Now, what's he done?
I was just practicing my signature.
Leroy Forrester, Leroy J. Forrester, Leroy P. Forrester.
You have no middle name, Leroy. What is this?
It looks better with something in there.
Oh, dear. If you wish to practice your signature, Leroy, or any signature, kindly do not do so in your sister's notebook. Just tear the page out, my dear. It's no tragedy.
Not to you, maybe.
Doorbell.
Will you answer it, please, Marjorie?
I'll get it. Bertie's getting it.
Everyone heard her, Leroy.
Good evening, Miss Goodwin. Good evening, Bertie. Is Mr. Gildersleeve at home? I'd just like to see him for a minute if it's convenient.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be convenient, Miss Goodwin. Come right in.
Oh, well, Leroy, take your homework upstairs, please. You too, Marjorie. Well, Eve, what a delightful surprise.
I'm sorry to bother you. She just wants to see you for a minute, Miss Gildersleeve.
Yes, Bertie. Thank you.
Hi, Miss Goodwin.
Hello, Leroy. Marjorie.
Hello. We're just leaving. I gave Uncle Mort the message about the PTA.
Thank you. I do hope you can come, Throckmorton.
Run along, Leroy.
I'm going.
Sit down, Eve. Make yourself at home.
No, I can only stay a minute, as Bertie promised. Have you been to the barber's today?
No, why?
Oh, I thought you must have had something put on your hair. It smells quite nice.
Oh, that. I spilled it on my vest. If you like it, I'll get some more.
You shouldn't unless you like it yourself.
Well, it's masculine.
That's appropriate.
I haven't seen you in quite a while, Eve. Where have you been keeping yourself?
Oh, I'm still living in the same place. You haven't been around to call on me.
Well, what about tonight? Can't we duck this PTA meeting?
I wish we could.
We could go for a drive somewhere. It's not too cold out. Or we could just sit around and have a little conversation. I'd like to know what you think about the new books and politics and everything.
I'd like to encourage your intellectual interest, but I've got to go to this meeting. And I hate to ask you to help me, but I'm desperate.
Well, why should it be your problem?
It's my job. Please, Throckmorton, be nice. If you'll just come around for half an hour and sing a few little things. The ladies are crazy about you. For me?
All right, Eve. For you.
Oh, you're a darling. 8 o'clock in the high school auditorium.
All right. Wait a minute, Eve. This thing doesn't have to last very long, does it?
Well, it should be over by 10. Why?
Well, how would it be if I took you home after?
Well,
Just for some conversation about books.
Well, for a little while. And thank you, Throckmorton.
You change your clothes, Unky. Going out?
Yes, after supper.
Gonna sing for the PTA, Unc?
Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, Leroy. Miss Goodwin has asked me as an old friend to help her out of a difficult situation. I'm considering it.
Doorbell. I'll get it. Bertie's getting it.
Leroy, you're developing an extremely tedious habit of proclaiming the obvious. Try to curb it.
Okay.
Good evening, Bertie. Is Mr. Gildersleeve at home?
Yes, he is, Miss Ransom.
Well, I know it's almost his supper time, but if I could just see him for a minute.
Come right in, ma'am. What's fair for one is fair for all.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Miss Ransom wants to see you a minute, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, thank you, Bertie. Hello, Leila.
Hello, Throckmorton. Good evening, Marjorie.
Hello, Mrs. Ransom.
Throckmorton.
Hi, Mrs. Ransom.
Oh, hello, Leroy. How did you see you there? My, but you're growing. Throckmorton, I just wondered if you were doing anything important this evening. Are you?
I'm afraid I am, Leila. I've agreed to appear at a meeting of the Parent Teachers Association.
Throckmorton, you've got to get out of it. I simply must see you this evening.
But, Leila, I've made a commitment. They have to have a speaker.
Oh, pooh. They can find a million speakers. You don't want to sit around with a lot of mothers and talk about progressive education.
Well, I wasn't going to talk about progressive education. I was,
I was feeling sentimental. I thought we could have such a lovely evening together.
Leila, I promised.
I have a special reason for asking.
Well, Leila, Leroy, go upstairs. Or out in the kitchen or someplace. I won't have you staring at me.
Gosh, what did I do?
You too, Marjorie.
Okay.
Please, Throckmorton, for Leila. Oh, you can get Horace Hooker to go to the PTA meeting instead.
Hooker?
Mm-hmm.
By George, I might at that. What time is it?
About 6:15.
I wonder if he's still down at the office.
Oh, Horace loves to do things like that. Will you come over early, Throckmorton?
Right after supper. That is, if I can
I'll
find
be
Hooker.
expecting you. Don't disappoint me now, you hear?
But, Leila, what if I can't...
I'm counting on you, Throckmorton.
What do you know? Eve, Leila. Never rains, but it pours. Say, I wonder if that stuff Peavy sold me... Now.
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a minute. In these days, when spreads for bread are not so abundant, you've probably had to do without your favorite brand now and then.
But I'm still as choosy as ever, Mr. Lang. I always ask for parquet margarine. It's been our favorite for years.
It's a favorite spread in millions of homes. First of all, because people know that any product made by the Kraft Foods Company is sure to be of highest quality. And once you've tried parquet margarine, you just naturally prefer its fresh, country-sweet flavor. Prefer it because it tastes so good on rolls, toast, pancakes, and waffles.
That's why I always ask first for parquet margarine at my food dealers.
And likely as not, he'll have it for you from time to time, because Kraft is continuing to make all the parquet margarine possible with present supplies. Your food dealer is doing his best to supply you with this spread that's so rich in food energy, so country sweet in flavor, and so economical, too. I suggest that you always look first for delicious, nourishing parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now, back to our story. Having called Judge Hooker's house, Gildersleeve has learned that the judge is working late at his office. Let's watch Gildersleeve's maneuvers now as he enters the city hall, tiptoes down the corridor chambers, and finding the door ajar, wanders into the judge's chambers. The judge is absorbed in a document. Gildersleeve helps himself to a chair.
Horace?
Yes, Gildy?
Hello.
Hello.
What you doing?
Reading a brief.
Oh. Horace?
Yes?
You're interested in education, aren't you?
Not at the moment. I'm reading a brief.
But I mean, you are interested in it. After all, you're a member of the school board.
So are you.
Well, yes, but...
Now, let me read this. Court convenes at 9 in the morning.
What I'm driving at, Judge...
What are you driving at? What do you want?
Oh, nothing. I just dropped in. That a new picture you got on the wall there?
Nope.
Oh. Horace, what are you doing tonight?
I am not addressing the Parent Teachers Association, if that's what you've got in mind.
Oh, it never occurred to me, Horace, but what an excellent suggestion.
It was not a suggestion.
You know who they got for the guest of honor now? Oh, this will kill you. Me. What can I do? Sing a little. When I was a young lad. Who wants to hear that?
Who indeed?
But you, Judge, now you can't sing for sour apples, maybe.
I can at least carry the tune.
We won't go into that. You can't sing, but you can do something much better for the PTA. You can give them food for thought, Horace. You can bring things home to them.
What can I bring home to them?
Why,
The time is too short, Gildy. As I told Miss Goodwin, I don't like to decline an invitation of this sort.
Miss Goodwin, Eve asked you before she asked me?
Who do you think suggested you?
Well, that's very flattering, old friend, but I fear you're being too modest. You see who they go to first.
It's not modesty. There's no time. The meeting's tonight. There's no time to prepare anything.
Oh. Say, how about that speech you gave last year, Judge? What was it called? Education and the Law or something? Don't tell me you've forgotten that. Why, I'll never forget it as long as I live.
But, Gildy, I gave that before the PTA.
It was well received, wasn't it?
It was.
It caused comment in the newspaper, didn't it?
Did.
A lot of good, solid stuff in that speech, Horace. Wasn't the kind of thing that could be absorbed in one hearing.
I'll tell you why that speech caused comment, if you'd like to know. Because it dealt with a current problem of vital importance. A proper respect for law, my friend, should be inculcated in the young at the earliest possible age.
True, true.
Should begin in school. In kindergarten, even. It should begin before that, in the home. I'll even go farther and say that it should begin with heredity. But if it's too late for heredity, let's begin where we can. I ask you, how can a child possibly learn respect for the law if at home he sees his parents flaunting it?
Oh, that is so true.
I say to you, my friend, law is the very keystone of our civilization. The very keystone.
Keystone.
The keystone. I say to you...
Don't say it to me, Judge. Say it to the PTA.
Yes. I must take another look at that speech. There are one or two things I might add. Meetings at 8:30, you say?
8:30.
Keystone of our civilization. It's rather a good phrase. I say to you, my friends, law...
When I was a young man before my beard was gray.
But I'm weary of the sea wind, I'm weary of the foam, and the little stars of Duna call me home. The little stars of Duna call me home.
Well, that's that.
Oh, Throckmorton, let's sing one more. Just one more.
Heck, I could be doing this at the PTA.
Oh, gracious, I certainly don't know what you expected.
Well, gee, after all, you got me to break a date to come here. You said it was going to be something special.
It is. This is an evening I shall always remember, Throckmorton. Always.
Well, all right. Let's make it something to remember.
I think perhaps we could find a more comfortable place than the piano band.
How about over here?
Now, Throckmorton, we're going to have an understanding.
I thought we had one.
If I let you hold my hand, do you promise you won't go any farther?
What do you think?
I'd have to ask you to promise that. That would have to be the understanding.
Leila, what's this all about? Why are you so particular all of a sudden?
Well, I don't know that there's anything so sudden about it. I've always been particular. Oh, but there, I mustn't be put out with you. Not tonight. I know you didn't mean...
What's wrong?
What is that smell? I've been smelling it all evening.
It's me.
Where is it? On your hair?
It's all over. Don't you like it?
Well, I don't know, Throckmorton. I'm not sure. If I could get far enough away to find out.
Well, I'm sorry if I've offended.
Oh, it's nothing like that. It's just a little overpowering is all.
Well, don't blame me. Blame Peavy. He sold it to me. So if you don't like it, the joke's on him.
I didn't say I didn't like it. As a matter of fact, I think in time I could become quite used to it. Do you like the perfume I'm wearing, Throckmorton?
I can't smell it.
Here, I'll put some on my wrists. And behind my ears.
Yum, 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 yum.
Ouch!
Oh, Leila, I'm terribly sorry. I don't know why I did that.
Biting, really.
Something snapped inside me, Leila. My mind just went blank, I guess. It was the perfume. And your little pink ear. Will you forgive me, Leila? Please forgive me.
Well, I guess it wasn't your fault, Throckmorton. You couldn't help yourself.
That's the girl. See, I'll kiss it and make it all better.
Oh, no, you don't. I think we'd better go back to the piano.
Piano? I've sung every song I know, Leila. I've sung till I'm hoarse. Can't we forget?
You must try to humor me this evening, Throckmorton, because this is a very special evening.
You keep saying that, but I don't see anything so...
I know. How could we ever forget?
Huh? Tell you the truth, Leila, I'm kind of sick of that song.
Sick of it? How can you say that? Why, that's always been our song.
I know, but can't we get a new one?
There's an old saying, Throckmorton. The old songs are the best. The old songs bring memories.
All evening, nothing but memories.
Remember the first time you ever sang that to me, Throckmorton?
Yep.
That was 4 years ago. You were darling then. Of course, you were a lot younger.
I'm just as young as I ever was.
No, you're not. You've changed.
How?
You don't seem so interested anymore.
I am, too, but ye gods, you got me sitting here with my hands tied.
Oh, it isn't that. You didn't miss me this summer.
Now, that just isn't true, Leila. I did so miss you.
You didn't write to me only once or twice.
Well, I was busy, and I knew you'd be back, so what's the use?
That's just it. You knew I'd be back. If you'd really missed me, you'd have shown a little more interest in where I spent my vacation and who I met while I was down there. You'd have been a little more curious.
I'm as curious as anybody. Where did you go, Leila?
Doesn't matter now. It's too late.
What do you mean, it's too late?
Oh, Throckmorton, I'm afraid I've got to wound you, and I don't want to.
If you're still sore because I bit your ear, you can bite mine. I don't care.
Oh, no. No, it isn't that. Oh, how shall I tell you?
Tell me what? Just tell me.
No, that would be too cruel.
I don't get it.
Wait here, Throckmorton. Wait here.
Hey, where are you going?
Wait.
Hey, chocolates. I shouldn't, but I wonder which is a chewy one. Somebody's been biting into these. Well, I'll take a chance. All over my tie.
Throckmorton.
Oh, just sampling one of your chocolates here.
Throckmorton, do you notice anything different about me?
Just had a little mishap here, but it'll come off.
Throckmorton, please look at me.
Yeah?
You notice anything different?
No, why?
You're not very observant, I must say. I'll come closer. Now, do you notice anything?
New dress?
No, you've seen this dress hundreds of times. I'll give you a hint. It's jewelry.
The earrings.
Earrings. I always wear earrings. It's on my left hand, stupid.
Oh, where'd you get the ring? Hey, where'd you get the ring?
From someone.
Leila, is that an engagement ring, or did you put it on that finger to remind you of something?
It's on that finger to remind me of someone I met down south. He's a doctor, if you're dying to know, from Virginia.
Leila, you aren't going to marry this fellow.
Uh-huh.
For heaven's sake, why?
Because I love him.
Leila.
Well, I've wounded you.
But why didn't you tell me, Leila? What's the idea of waiting till now and then getting me over
because
here?
I wanted to be sure first, Throckmorton. I wanted to be sure of myself first.
Well, you might have tipped me off. If I'd had a little time, I might have done something. But no, the first quack that comes along, you let him...
He happens to be a very fine doctor.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too, Throckmorton. Does it mean so very much to you? Poor boy. Have a chocolate.
I couldn't.
Oh, to think I had to do this to you.
When are the services, Leila?
October 9th. The invitations are already in the mail. That's why I had to tell you tonight. His name is Julian Henry Culpepper. He's terribly handsome. He's only 36.
No.
I'm sorry. It was terribly romantic the way we met. It was at a dance. Do you know that tune that goes...
Leila, tell me something.
Yes? What?
Does this fellow sing?
Gracious, no. You should hear him.
Shove over.
Why? What for?
Speak to me of love.
No fail.
And say what I'm longing to hear.
No fail, Throckmorton.
Tender words of love.
The great Gildersleeve will finish his song in just a moment. Just a short while ago, a lady with some definite ideas on the kind of quality she wants in a spread for bread told us she always asks first for parquet margarine. And I'd say that's good advice at any time, to look first and ask first at your dealers for this Kraft quality spread with the fresh country sweet flavor. Right now, of course, all spreads for bread are scarce. Kraft is actually producing more parquet margarine than before the war. But the amount of top-quality farm ingredients available at present for parquet still isn't enough to meet the big demand. However, supplies of parquet are going to your food dealer regularly, and he'll have some for you from time to time. So remember to look first when you shop for delicious, nourishing parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Speak to me of love and whisper these words to me, dear. I adore you.
You know, Throckmorton,
Yes?
now that it's worn off a little, I think I like that perfume you're wearing.
It's not a perfume, Leila. It's a masculine scent.
Whatever it is, I like it. It does something to me.
It does?
What's it called?
Why,
I want to tell Julian Henry.
wait till I see Peavy. Good night, Julian.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The cast includes Walter Tetley, Louise Erickson, and Lillian Randolph, who play Leroy, Marjorie, and Bertie. Leila Ransom is Shirley Mitchell. Eve Goodman is played by Bea Benaderet. Judge Hooker is Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand plays Mr. Peavy. The music is by Jack Meeker. Daylight saving time ends on September 28th, so next Wednesday you'll hear The Great Gildersleeve at 8:30 if you live in the Eastern Time Zone, 7:30 if you're on Central Time. 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. Incidentally, there's a swell story about Gildersleeve in the October Radio Mirror magazine. This is John Lang speaking for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to be with us again next Wednesday for the further adventures of The Great Gildersleeve.
If you pack lunches for school-going children and hard-working grown-ups, Surprise them someday this week with the appetizing cheddar cheese flavor of Pabst-ett. This delicious cheddar cheese food is wonderfully nourishing in sandwiches. And you can cut Pabst-ett into wedges, too, for a tasty flavored treat with red apples for dessert. Your family can enjoy Pabst-ett in 2 tempting varieties. Pimento Pabst-ett in the red package and golden cheddar in the familiar round yellow package. Get both kinds when you shop tomorrow.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's see what's been happening to Gildersleeve.
Well, it's plenty. Into the quiet town of Summerfield via the U.S. mail, a bomb has dropped. Everyone who is anyone in Summerfield has received this morning a creamy white envelope, roughly 4 by 6, with a postmark of Savannah, Georgia. No bargain offer, this. Eagerly, we pry open the flap, taking care not to cut our fingers, so fine and crisp the stationery. Inside, a second envelope with our name inscribed upon it, nothing else. We pause a moment to admire the penmanship and dive inside again. A wisp of tissue paper flutters to the floor. We rub our thumb across the engraving. Our eyes focus, and behold.
Mr. and Mrs. Tupper Hathaway request the honor of your presence at the marriage of their niece, Leila Barrington Ransom, to Dr. Julian Henry Culpepper on October 9th, 1946, at 4:30, Church of the Rebellion, Savannah, Georgia.
Yes, the whole town's talking about it. Long before breakfast, the neighbor's cook, Lily B., came hot-footing it across the street and around to the kitchen door with the news. So, though the invitation lies unopened beside Gildersleeve's plate at breakfast, Birdie knows full well what's in it, and she's briefed the children accordingly.
Now, remember what I told you, Leroy. Be nice to him.
I always am.
Well, a little nicer than that. You got to realize, Leroy, this is liable to be kind of hard on your uncle, Mrs. Ransom, getting married like that.
Why? She isn't marrying him. Well, Leroy, have you no feeling? Sure.
On second thought, I think I'll just shove the invitation out of sight here under his butter plate.
Here he comes.
Now, just act like nothing happened. Remember now, like nothing happened.
Good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. I said good morning.
Morning, Mr. Gildersleeve. I'll go get your breakfast right away.
Marjorie?
Good morning, Unky.
Leroy, no word of greeting to your uncle?
Hi.
Well. What are you two staring at?
Leroy, will you pass the sugar?
Sugar? Yeah, sure. There you are, Marge. Sugar. Excuse me for not passing it before. I didn't notice you didn't have it.
Oh, that's all right.
Some salt? You got salt there?
Yes, I've had the salt things. I just wanted the sugar for my cocoa.
Marmalade. You want some marmalade?
Oh, I have some. I have plenty. Oh, but thank you just the same.
Well, that's all right. Anything you want, just ask for it.
Extraordinary. No mail come this morning?
Daddy, you want the salt, you say, Marge?
She just had the salt. What's going on here? Bertie, did no mail come this morning?
What'd you say?
I asked if there wasn't any mail this morning.
No, sir, that is hardly any. Just the one thing there.
What thing?
Whatever it is.
Well, where? Where is it?
Under the butter plate.
Under the fine plate.
I better run out in the kitchen and see if anything's burning.
What's the matter with her? Savannah, Georgia. I'll have the sugar now, Leroy, if you feel you can spare it.
Aren't you going to open us? Leroy.
Later. Just a wedding invitation from Mrs. Ransom. How about that sugar? What's the matter with you?
Boy, is Bertie full of baloney.
Well, when did you find out, Unky?
Find out what?
About Mrs. Ransom.
Getting married? Oh, I've known about that for a long time. She told me last night. She said she wanted me to be the first to know.
And you don't mind?
No, that was all over years ago. Leila's a fine girl. I wish her every happiness. But as far as I'm concerned, Bertie, what's keeping you out there?
Mr. Gildersleeve, did you...
Uncle Mark's ready, Bertie. You can take his plate. Oh, and incidentally, he knows all about everything, so you don't need to worry.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Mr. Gildersleeve, it ain't none of my business, of course, but I just want you to know I just want you to know, that's all. See, I made you some nice milk toast this morning.
Milk toast? What for?
Well, I knew you wouldn't probably be feeling so good, and there ain't nothing sits easy on the stomach in time of trouble than milk toast.
I can't stand milk toast, Bertie. What do I want with milk toast anyway? I feel fine. Yeah, doorbell.
I'll go.
Let Bertie.
I'll get it.
Yes.
Oh, good morning, Judge. Come in.
I won't stay but a very few minutes, Bertie. Mr. Gildersleeve, I won't stay but a few minutes.
He's right in the dining room there.
Well, hello, Judge.
Gildy, old man.
What are we shaking hands for?
Good morning, Judge.
Hi.
Marjorie, Leroy, I wonder if I could have a word with your uncle in private. Just for a moment.
Certainly.
We gotta go to school anyway. Come on, Marge.
What's up, Judge?
Gildy, old man, anything I can do, anything at all. You know that, old man. Just call on me.
Call on you for what?
Anything. Are you planning to go to the office today?
Certainly.
Good. Work is the best medicine, they say. I'd offer to drive you down, but I think the walk would do you good. The important thing is not to let this prey on your mind. I know how you feel, old man. I don't want you to think that...
I feel fine.
That's the stuff. Try to keep that up. It's the only way to hold on to yourself. Chin up. Never admit for a minute even to yourself...
Listen, you've got me all wrong, Horace. I feel fine.
Bully for you. Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, listen, you old goat. I feel fine. You understand? I feel fine. I'm fine. Hello, Peavy.
Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, I didn't think we'd be seeing you today.
I don't know why not. I'm in here all the time. I guess I might as well take some cigars as long as I'm here. Peavy, I'd like some cigars.
Mr. Gildersleeve, well, there are some things that are very hard for a man to say, but we'd like you to know, Mrs. Peavy and I, we'd like you to come to dinner.
Well, that's very nice. I'd be delighted to come.
I'm an older man than you are, Mr. Gildersleeve, and I've had my share of disappointments, too. I'd just like to say that I know how you feel.
What's the matter with everybody? I feel fine. You hear that, Peavy? I feel fine. Good morning, Bessie.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes?
Oh, I don't know what to say, but...
Don't say it. Bessie?
Yes, sir?
What are these?
What, sir?
On my desk here.
They're roses.
Get them out of here. I'm sorry, Bessie, but I can't stand all this sympathy. Ye gods, a man has no private life of his own in this town. You try to wind up something quietly, and the next morning everybody's looking at you. Everybody butting in and telling you they know how you feel. Don't you try to tell me how I feel. I feel fine. I'm very happy about the whole thing.
Yes, sir.
Good. Somebody came in. See who it is.
You? Anybody here?
Leila, now what the...
Oh, good morning, Bessie. It's Mr. Gildersleeve. But just a minute. I'll ask him. Oh, Throckmorton, you poor darling. How are you?
Fine and dandy, Leila. Never better.
Oh, I'm glad to see you taking it this way. I knew you would. You have so much character. I'm afraid I've come to ask a favor of you, Throckmorton. Oh, that's terrible.
A favor at 9 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, gracious, I've been up for hours. I'm trying to get everything packed for when I go home for the wedding. And do you know something awful? I can't get half my things into my trunks.
Maybe you'd better just give up the whole idea.
Oh, silly. I wondered if you'd mind too terribly much just expressing a few things for me.
No, of course not.
The only thing is I haven't anything to pack them in. You'd have to get some crates or something. But you wouldn't mind?
No.
It would only take you a couple of evenings, probably. I'll give you a key in case I'm not there myself.
All right. A couple of evenings?
Well, there's quite a lot of it. I think it's terribly generous of you to offer to do it, Throckmorton. I can't tell you how grateful I am. I know Julian Henry will be grateful, too.
Julian Henry.
You know, I think you're just a little bit jealous of Julian Henry.
I wish you every happiness, Leila.
Oh, come on now. Fess up. Aren't you just a little teensy bit jealous?
Nope.
Will you miss me just a little when I'm gone?
I have a very busy winter ahead, Leila. I have lots of plans. Lots of plans.
You poor darling. Well, I've got to go shopping, to do hairdressing, a million things. Oh, I almost forgot.
What?
Hand me my handbag over there, will you?
Yeah.
I was cleaning out some old trash this morning, and I came across these.
What?
Well, don't tell me you don't recognize your own handwriting. They're your letters, silly. Love letters.
You've kept them all these years? What for?
Oh, 'cause they were so sweet. But I thought it was only fair to let you have them back now that they don't mean anything anymore. Besides, I wouldn't want Julian Henry finding them, would I?
Wait, don't you want the ribbon?
I'll leave you that to remember me by. Bye now.
Love letters. What a fool I was. Well, I know what to do with them. Oops, wait a minute. Maybe I ought to burn those if I remember it correctly. I wouldn't want Bessie. Not that she would. Smell nice. Sachet, I guess. She must have had them among her things. Gosh, that was 4 years ago. Let's see. My dear, darling, beloved Leila, I didn't sleep a wink all last night. All night long I lay awake thinking of you. Once I got up and went to my open window where the moon was shining in. And as I stood there gazing up at it, I thought to myself, that same moon is shining down upon my darling Leila, clear across the vacant lot there. I looked across and I could see your house and your own dear bedroom window. It was open a little. It made me wish that I were a little moonbeam and could steal in and nestle softly on the pillow beside your cheek. Oh, Leila, I love you so. I think if the day ever comes when we're no longer... Confound it! When I got up this morning, I felt perfectly all right.
Can Gildersleeve bear up? We'll find out in a few moments.
Mr. Lang, if it isn't one thing, it's another. Now that more wheat flour is available for baking my favorite rolls and muffins,
It seems harder than ever to find a really good spread to serve with them.
Well, of course, all spreads for bread are very scarce right now.
Yes, but the one I mean is parquet margarine. It's been my family's favorite for years. In fact, that's one reason my rolls and muffins taste so good. Parquet adds such delicious flavor. But as I was saying, just try to find parquet in the food stores when you want it.
I know just what you mean. But here's the picture. Try as we may at Kraft, we just can't seem to catch up with the demand for parquet margarine. We're continuing to make as much parquet as available supplies permit. And we're rushing it to your food dealer, flavor fresh and country sweet. Always of the same high quality that has made parquet a favorite spread of millions. So be sure to look first for parquet when you shop. Your dealer will have it for you from time to time, so ask for parquet. P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet margarine. Made by Kraft.
Let's get back to the great Gildersleeve, who is now thoroughly convinced his heart is broken. What to do? He finally decides he'll put on a brave face and seek the consolation of masculine companionship at the Jolly Boys Club. Let's peep into the club now where, though Gildersleeve has not arrived, he is the subject of conversation.
Poor old Gildersleeve. He's been fooling around with that woman for a long time.
4 or 5 years at least. Think of all the dough he must have spent on her.
Floyd, must you be crass?
Crass? What the heck is that? Well, figure it out for yourself. A picture show here, a meal there. Now it's up in a few years. Where does it get him? First guy that comes along with a half-a-carat diamond, Gildersleeve gets the pink slip.
Oh, it doesn't seem right. How's he taking it? Anybody seen him?
Well, I ain't seen him, but I'll give 8 to 5. Gildersleeve ain't losing any sleep over it. He'll have to make some new arrangements, that's all.
I happen to disagree with you, Floyd. I think he's taking this thing pretty hard. Have you seen him, Petey?
Yes, I saw him.
Well, what did you think?
I don't think he likes it.
In my opinion, it's a real blow to him. A real blow.
Poor old Gildersleeve. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yes, sir. That's the way it goes.
Yes, sir.
Well, for crying out loud, we don't have to act like a funeral. Let's get a card game going here or something. Come on, Peavy.
Well, I might play for a few minutes just to see how the cards are running.
Last time you said that, you took away $6.50. Hey, I think I hear somebody coming.
Sounds like Gildersleeve. I never thought he'd feel up to this.
Let's be real nice to him. A fellow jolly boy that's had a tough break.
Yeah. Well, jolly boys. Chief Gates, as I live and breathe. Did you catch a lot of crooks today?
How are you, Commissioner?
And Judge Hooker, the old spirit of habeas corpus.
Hi, Gildy.
And Floyd, the tonsorial artist. And Peavy, the merry pharmacist. Greetings, one and all.
Hi, Commissioner.
You seem to be in good spirits, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, why shouldn't I be?
That's what I told him, Commissioner.
Shut up, Floyd.
Why? What's the matter? Mr. Gildersleeve, the boys were telling me you were down in the mouth about your girlfriend dumping you.
I don't care for the way you put it.
I mean about Mrs. Ransom getting married. Anyway, I stuck up for you. I said you'd roll with the punch and come up smiling.
That's right, Floyd. That's me. Often a bridesmaid, but never a bride. But I can take it. What do I care?
That's a spirit.
No, sir. Leila is a fine girl. I wish her every happiness.
I think you're being very generous, Gildy.
Yes, I guess I am.
Fellas, I have a suggestion. Listen, we all know Mrs. Ransom. She's been on a lot of outings at the Jolly Boys Club.
Now, what about it?
I was thinking it'd be a real nice gesture if the club would all chip in and buy her a wedding present. That is, if Mr. Gildersleeve has no objection.
Oh, no. A nice gesture, Chief, as you say.
Then I'd like to put that in the form of a motion.
I second it. What do you say, Peavy? Don't you agree this is a proper and friendly gesture for the Jolly Boys to make?
What kind of a present would it be?
We can think about that later. Are you in favor of the idea?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm against it.
Oh, you make me tired.
Now, Judge, let's not be impatient with friend Peavy. He just don't want to buy a pig in a poke, that's all. The way I look at it, Peavy, we should get her something substantial and at the same time reasonably priced.
What did you have in mind?
Well, say we was all to put in $2 apiece. That's $10. Get her let's see. Piece of tapestry makes a nice gift. Yeah, a piece of tapestry to hang on the wall. Then every time she looked at it, she'd think of the Jolly Boys back in Summerfield.
What will her husband think when he looks at it?
Oh, quit worrying, Peavy. Are you with us or not?
Well, I'll go along if the rest will.
That's a boy.
Chief.
What is it, Commissioner? You got a different idea for the gift?
Oh, no. I think the tapestry is fine. Only, well, naturally, in my position, I'll be expected to give her a present myself. Something fairly substantial. So I'm afraid I won't be able to contribute to the club kitty.
Oh. Well, maybe we can get a tapestry for $8. It don't have to cover the entire wall. Okay, Judge?
Yeah.
Okay, Peavy? Okay, Floyd?
No, it ain't okay.
Well,
I don't see why we should buy her a present in the first place.
Well, why not?
Because she done a dirty trick to a fellow Jolly Boy, that's why.
Now, Floyd...
Horace, please. Floyd, I appreciate your sentiment. As I said before, Leila is a fine girl. I wish her every happiness.
Well, that's all well and good, but just the same,
No.
she done you a...
She's found someone she loves. That's all that really matters.
It takes a real man to say a thing like that.
You're so right, Chief.
I mean it, fellas. If Leila can find happiness with this fellow, raise a family, perhaps, I'll not stand in her way.
Say, what about the card game we were starting here? Let's get going.
How about a song?
That's a better idea. A song.
Okay, come on, guys. Get around the piano. How about this one? Oh, the moonlight's fair tonight along the Wabash.
That's good.
Okay.
From the fields there comes a breath of new mown hay. Through the sycamores, the candlelights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash. Great, fellas. Let's have another.
No, Floyd. Not that.
For heaven's sakes, Floyd.
No, Floyd. Go ahead and play that one. I want to sing it.
Okay, Commissioner.
I wonder who's kissing her now. I wonder who's speaking her now. I wonder who's looking into her eyes, breathing sighs, telling lies. I wonder who's buying the wine for lips that I used to call. If she ever thinks about he.
Commissioner, get him a Coke, somebody.
Hey, get him a double Coke, baby. Get us all a Coke while you're at it.
Never should have started that song.
I'm sorry, fellas. I didn't mean to.
That's perfectly okay, Commissioner. You're among friends.
Thanks.
And when a fellow gets a blow like you got...
She's a fine girl. I wish her every happiness.
I'd just like to say, Commissioner, I know how it is.
Oh, no, Chief. You're happily married.
Yes, I am. But there was a girl ahead of my wife. I thought I'd never get over it.
Yes.
I'd just as lief you didn't mention it to Hazel.
Oh, of course.
You want to play a little cards, Commissioner?
I don't know, Floyd.
Seeing you feel so Seeing you feel so lousy, the boys might make a special concession. We'd play bridge just for you. How about it?
Thanks, Floyd. I don't think I can keep my mind on it.
Just let him sit there and drink his Coke. It's a hard, hard world.
Well, we're just going to sit around like this all night?
Now, Judge, drink your Coke and be quiet a minute. Feeling a little better, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I think the Coke is helping.
I might remind you fellas that Gildersleeve is not the only man around here who feels a sentimental pang at Mrs. Ransom's decision.
Quit trying to horn in on the sympathy.
Well.
Well, let's do something.
Yeah, let's.
Do what?
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Boy, this is a dead town. When's Halloween?
I don't know. October, November.
Boy, we used to have some real fun on Halloween when I was a kid. Kids nowadays don't have the kind of fun we had.
Good thing, too. Halloween's a bad night for the police department.
I remember one trick we used to pull. We'd take and set somebody's garbage pail up on the railing of the porch. Kind of balance it there, see? Then tie a string on it and fasten the string to the doorknob and then ring the doorbell. Garbage all over the place. We didn't do it. The guy done it himself when he opened the door.
That keeps it perfectly legal.
Fellas, let's go out and dump over somebody's garbage pail.
You joking, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No, I'm not. That's just what I feel like doing tonight. Come on, Floyd, are you game?
Well, I'm game if the rest are. How about it, Peeve? Come on, it'll take 10 years off of you.
Well, I'd be willing to watch.
Good old Peavy. Whose pail shall we dump over?
How about Judge Hooker? Oh, no, he's here.
I certainly am.
Well, who'll it be?
Fellas, how about Mrs. Ransom?
Commissioner.
Gildy, you really mean it?
Certainly I mean it. After all, look what she did to me.
He's himself again.
And we'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again in just a minute. One of the questions we're asked most often is, when is there going to be more Parquet margarine in the food stores? Frankly, we don't know. But our best guess is that the shortage may extend over a period of several months. That doesn't mean, of course, that there'll be any less Parquet produced. Kraft's modern margarine plants are continuing to make as much Parquet as present supplies permit. And just as quickly as more fine American vegetable oils are made available through government allocation, Kraft will be ready to speed up production. Meanwhile, we're distributing Parquet as fairly as we know how, with your food dealer's splendid cooperation. He'll have Parquet for you from time to time. So be sure to look first when you shop for delicious, flavor-fresh Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that two more fine programs are joining NBC's great Wednesday night lineup this evening. Immediately following this program over most of these stations, you will hear Duffy's Tavern with Ed Gardner as Archie. Then, of course, Mr. District Attorney as usual, and following that, Frank Morgan as the fabulous Dr. Tweedy. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It was written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Lillian Randolph as Burley, and Shirley Mitchell as Leila Ransom. Judge Hooker is Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand plays Mr. Peavy. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Do the children in your family like fine cheese? Then you can just bet they'll love Pab Step. It's so rich in mellow cheddar cheese flavor, so easy to digest. Pabst-Step is a cheese food that contains nourishing food values of milk, and it's simply delicious on bread or crackers, or melted into a luscious sauce for hot vegetables, eggs, and macaroni. Why not buy both delicious varieties? Pimento Pabst-Step in the red package, and golden cheddar Pabst-Step in the familiar round yellow package. Get Pabst-Step at your food store tomorrow.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet Margarine and a complete line of famous quality food products. Well, let's see now what Gildersleeve has been up to. I doubt really that Gildersleeve himself could tell you. Since the day he learned that his old flame, Leila Ransom, was pledged to marry another, he has lived in a daze, busying himself about unimportant things and trying to put out of his mind the thought of his impending loss. But inevitably it has come, the moment he has been dreading. It came when he wasn't looking. He was lingering late at the breakfast table, scanning the paper and putting away a few fried eggs, when the doorbell rang. Toast in one hand and napkin in the other, he rose and stepped to the door, wiping his mustache as he went.
Oh, pardon me. Hello, Leila.
I've come to say goodbye, Throckmorton.
Let me just put this toast down someplace. There. Well,
I might not see you again. That's why I came over now.
Well, I'm glad you did. Glad you did. You're leaving today, then?
Tonight.
Oh, tonight.
At 9:15.
9:15.
That's when my train goes.
Train? You're going on the train, then?
Yes.
Well,
I've brought you a key to my house. I'd like to leave it with you. Judge Hooker's handling the house for me, of course, but I thought if he wanted to show it to anybody, why...
This is the key.
That's the key.
I'll take good care of it. I'll hang it on a nail or something.
That's the key to the front door, not the back door. There's a different key to the back door, but this is the key to the front door.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll tell them to try it on the front door.
If they have any trouble, tell them to push down a little.
Push down a little.
Push down and then turn it.
Turn it. I see. Well...
By the way, I want to thank you for your wedding present. It was simply lovely.
Oh, nothing.
Well, it was lovely, and you shouldn't have done it. I'll write you a formal thank you letter, of course, as soon as I get my stationery, but I wanted to thank you anyway.
Well, thanks.
It was really lovely.
Glad you liked it. Tell Julian Henry not to bust it. You have to handle it kind of easy, tell him.
Oh, Julian Henry is very careful. He's a doctor, you know.
Yes, I know.
Doctors have to be careful.
I suppose. It's sterling silver.
Yes, I noticed that. Lovely. What do you do with it, Throckmorton?
Do with it? What do you think you do with it? It's a combination corkscrew, bottle opener, cheese knife, and pickle fork.
I knew it was something. But when I came to list the presents, I didn't know what to write down. Oh, I think it's lovely.
Thanks. Well,
I suppose there's nothing to do but say goodbye now.
Yes, Oh, by the way, here's the bill of lading for those crates I expressed for you. You'll need this.
Oh, thank you. I do hope it wasn't too much trouble.
Oh, not at all. Well, you're leaving tonight, you say?
9:15.
9:15. On the train.
On the train. Well, goodbye, Throckmorton. I do hope we'll always be friends.
Friends? Oh, sure, naturally.
Well, I guess I'd better be going now. Goodbye.
Oh, Leila.
Yes?
You sure you won't come in for a minute?
Well, I have so many things to do, Throckmorton. I'm afraid I can't.
Oh. Well.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. That's a heck of a way to say goodbye to a girl. Well, that's a heck of a way to say goodbye to me. Nuts. Why didn't I ask her if I could drive her down to the station? Who left this football here? Leroy, confound it! Well, tell him not to leave his football lying around where people can bump into it.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you planning to go out tonight?
I don't know, Bertie. I haven't decided. I don't know what I'm doing tonight.
Oh. Too bad about that dish. I wish I had some glue. I could fix it if I had some glue. Glass glue.
Yeah, let it go. We'll get another dish.
Gonna be hard to get another one like that. We got that one with soap chips. Soap chips is hard to find.
Yes, well, never mind.
Last time I went to market, I laid in $2 worth of canned goods we didn't need just to get one box of soap chips. Then when he looked under the counter, he didn't have no soap chips. At least that's what he said.
Uh-huh.
It's getting so things are just as bad under the counter as they are on the shelves. Pretty soon they'll be as bad in the basement as they are under the counter. Then what'll they do? Guess I'll have to dig. Miss Gildersleeve, you feeling all right?
Perfectly.
You don't seem to talk much.
I'm reading the newspaper. I'm trying to.
Would you rather read today's paper?
Huh?
That's last week's paper you got there.
Oh. Where did I get this?
That's the paper I put under the toaster to keep it from burning the table.
Funny, I didn't notice.
Here's today's.
Oh, thanks.
Mr. Gildersleeve, now have you decided?
Decided what?
About tonight, whether you're going out.
Oh, if you want to go out, Bertie, go ahead. I have no plans.
Oh, I don't want to go out if you're going out.
That's all right. You go ahead, Bertie.
Well, thank you, sir. I'll go phone Lily.
Now, why did I say that? Maybe I will want to go out. Darn it, why didn't I offer to drive Leila to the station? Of course, there's still time. I could call her up and no. That's just what she'd want me to do. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. She wants to marry this fellow, let her go ahead and marry him. Let him drive her to the station. Let him come all the way from Savannah and drive her to the station.
Hello, Lily. Where were you, upstairs?
There's one thing sure, I'm not going to sit here all evening biting my nails.
Oh, well, I talked to Mr. Gildersleeve and he
Oh,
said...
Bertie, just a minute.
Hold it, Lily. Yes, sir?
I don't like to change your plans, Bertie, but about this evening...
Yes, sir?
I haven't quite decided.
Oh, hold everything, Lily. I'll call you back. No, it don't look so good now.
Well, yes, I know it's kind of short notice, Eve. I would have called you sooner, only... Look, Eve, I don't like to ask you to break a date, but if you could just see your way clear to do it just this once, just this evening, it would... Well, that's just the trouble. I tried everybody else. Hello? Hello? You hung up. What's the idea? No, what?
Miss Gildersleeve, do you think...
I haven't quite made up my mind yet, Bertie.
Yes.
Oh! Leroy, don't slam that door. How many times... What are you doing home in the middle of the morning?
Teacher sent me home. I got a cold.
Oh, for heaven's sake. For a little cold?
What are you doing home?
That's my business. Stop sniffing. Go get a handkerchief.
I've got one.
Then use it.
Okay.
Come here, Leroy. Let me help you.
I can blow it. What's the matter with him?
Don't bother your uncle now. He's making up his mind.
Making up his mind about what?
He don't know, I guess. That's what he's making up his mind about.
Hey, Unc, can I go to the basketball game tonight?
No, certainly not.
But it doesn't cost anything, Unc. It's free. It doesn't cost anything.
That's not the point. I can perfectly well afford to send you to the basketball game if I want to. But you've been sent home from school with a cold.
what they sent you home for. A little cold. If you'd stopped sniffing, you wouldn't have one. Bertie, I guess you better put him to bed.
Oh,
Well, then get out of my way and let me use that telephone.
Oh, sure. Here you are, Unc. Who are you calling, Unc?
Judge Hooker, none of your business.
If I put on my rubbers, could I go?
No.
I'll keep warm, Unc, honest.
Leroy, can't you see I'm telephoning? Guess he isn't there. Wonder who else in the Jolly Boys I could call.
Don't tell me you're going to play poker again tonight.
That, Leroy, is my affair. We play for very small stakes anyway.
Gosh, I can't even go to a basketball game, and he plays poker every night in a week.
It's not every night in the week. Peavy? Gildersleeve. Say, Peavy, I got to thinking. How about a little game of penny ante this evening? You and the fellas. Give you a chance to win back some of that. Well, why couldn't you? Peavy, it's not every night in the week. Leroy, go upstairs. Look, Peavy, we played last night, granted. And we played the night before. But how long was it before that we played? Just ask her that. And tell her what she can do. Show her who's boss, Peavy. Peavy, you know what you are? You're a ninny. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Nuts. Well, I guess I spend the evening alone. Might as well get used to it. Won't be the only evening I'll spend alone. Evening after evening, with nobody next door. No Leila, nobody. Windows dark, shades drawn. No Leila. No Leila. What'll I do? Give me that phone. 5, 8, 3, 6. Peavy, you gotta do this for me. I'm asking you as a personal favor. If you ever call yourself my friend, Peavy, get the fellas over here tonight. We'll have a lot of fun, Peavy. We'll play cards, we'll play games, we'll do anything you like. We'll have a million laughs. If you love me, Peavy, do this for me.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a minute. Everyone knows that $1 doesn't go very far these days. Still, the family is just as hungry as ever. And that's why we're always glad to remind you of a wholesome food that's high in food energy and very economical, too.
That sounds like a build-up for one of your Kraft food products, Mr. Lang.
You know I'm referring to Parquet margarine, a spread for bread that's a favorite in millions of homes. Parquet is one of the finest of all energy foods you can serve, and it's also a reliable source of vitamin A. Every pound contains 15,000 units of this important vitamin.
And in my family, Parquet margarine's a very special favorite because of its fresh, sweet flavor. I think it's a grand buy, Mr. Lang, whenever it's available. That's why I always make it a point to look first for Parquet.
Sometimes Parquet margarine may be hard to find because of the big demand, but Kraft is making all they possibly can with present supplies. So if you want to help make your food dollar go further, look first for Parquet. Parkay. Parquet margarine. The delicious quality spread for bread made by the Kraft Foods Company. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. Fortunately for him, Mr. Peavy has turned out to be not only a good friend, but a persuasive one. So we find Gildersleeve, Judge Hooker, Floyd the Barber, Chief of Police Gates, and Mr. Peavy seated around Gildersleeve's dining room table, with a bright light shining down on them, neatly stacked chips in front of each player, and an almost new deck of cards in circulation.
You're some host, Mr. Gildersleeve. I lost $3 already.
The evening's young yet, Floyd.
Well, I've never seen such a run of luck as you've been having.
I'll admit I've been lucky.
Lucky at cards, unlucky at love.
You're right, Floyd. But believe me, I'd rather have it the other way around.
You must be crazy.
No, I'm not. I win a few dollars at poker. What of it? You have a happy home, security, someone to share your joys and sorrows.
Only a bachelor could say a thing like that. Now, look, anybody knocks my wife, I'll give him an argument. She's as good as anybody's wife. She has her good points. Well, she did have, anyway. But here's what gets me.
It's your deal, Floyd.
Keep your shirt on. You're ahead. Here's what gets me about my wife. I never can tell what she's after. And they're all the same. Am I right, Chief?
I think I know what you mean.
Certainly. Or I'll leave it to Peavy. Hey, Peave, does your wife ever come right out and tell you what she wants, or does she sneak up on it by the way of Denver?
Mrs. Peavy uses both methods.
You're lucky. I never know where I stand. Like last week, for instance, she was after me like a tiger. We had to have a new washing machine. A new washing machine. That's $140. Cut the cards, Peave.
I cut them 5 minutes ago.
Oh. Well, I said to Lovey, I said, look, Lovey, try to get this through your head. We ain't got $140.
That doesn't sound like indirection to me, Floyd.
Well, you hear. Yesterday, she comes up to me and she says, Floydie, I got the old washer fixed for only $16. Can I have a new coat? You know what I think? I think she was after the coat all the time.
If she'd asked you right out for the coat, you'd have complained anyway.
I did.
It's not important, Floyd. You married men have something solid you can build your lives around. Something to give your lives direction.
I get plenty of that.
When you're sick, who takes care of you? When you're discouraged, who cheers you up? When you come home tired after a day's work, who stands there ready to welcome you?
Lovey.
Hazel.
Mrs. Peavy.
There you are. But me, I come home to an empty house.
Oh, poppycock. You've got the best cook in town and 2 fine children.
It's not the same as a wife, Horace. It's not the same.
Oh, you make me tired, trying to behave as if you'd sustained a tragic loss. If Leila meant so much to you, why didn't you ask her to marry you?
I did. I was engaged to her. You know I was.
At the time you were engaged to Leila, she was married to Beauregard Ransom.
Well, I didn't know that. I made my proposal in good faith.
Yeah. But have you ever proposed to her since she became a bona fide, legitimate widow?
Well, maybe not in so many words. No, I guess I haven't.
And stop complaining. Would you mind dealing for it?
Excuse me, fellas. Hello? I'll be right over.
Hey!
Hold on, I'll be right over. Goodbye.
Gildersleeve, I must say, since we're here as a favor to you...
And I'm out $3 as I sit here.
Please, I'll be back. There's Cokes in the icebox. Where's my hat? Oh, on my head. See you later, fellas.
Well, how do you like that?
What am I running for? She won't be ready. Yeah, but what do I care? Hey, Leila.
Throckmorton, you're a darling to come and get me like this at the last minute.
No trouble at all.
Well, if you'll take my bag, I guess we ought to get started.
This all the baggage you got? Can't be more than a couple of handkerchiefs in there.
Oh, there's a few little things. Gracious, I guess I'll have to ask you to lock my door. Did you bring the key?
Key? Oh, yes. Yeah. Here. Can't seem to...
You have to push down a little. Why, honey, your hand is shaking.
I'll get it. There. Well, are we all ready?
I guess so.
I'll just put your bag in the back. All right, Leila. Pile in and away we go. Well, what's the matter? You forget something?
I was just taking one last look at my little house. We have time, haven't we?
Time? Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
It's really a sweet little house. And I've had some awfully happy moments in it these last 5 years. What are you thinking, Throckmorton?
Your leaves need raking.
Let's get started, shall we? I hate having to hurry for a train.
Leila, what's the matter now?
Nothing, Throckmorton, only let's get started, please. suppose this is the last time I'll ever see West 5th Street. There's Shaw's Bakery and Meltzer's Hardwire.
Yeah?
You know something, Throckmorton?
What?
I told you a fib on the telephone.
The fib? You did? How?
I never sent for a cab at all. I was going to send for one, but then I thought I'd rather see you.
Well, gosh, why didn't you ask me sooner? I might have been out.
I don't know. But I've been kind of thinking all day. I was thinking we never really got to say goodbye to each other.
You thought that, too?
Oh, it was awful this morning. Like two strangers.
You're right. That's just what it was. Two strangers.
But we're not strangers, Throckmorton. We've been very, very good friends.
Yes, we have. We've been... Didn't see that car.
Throckmorton, would you mind holding my hand just till we get to the station?
Well?
Let's just sit here for a minute, shall we?
Sure.
I've got my ticket and everything. All I have to do is get on the train.
Got your Pullman reservation?
Oh, yes. Upper 9 in car 64.
Upper? Couldn't you get a lower?
Oh, I always buy an upper. It costs less, silly. And then occasionally I meet someone who insists on trading with me.
What a girl.
Do you think you'll miss me, Throckmorton?
You bet I will.
I'm afraid I'm going to miss you, too, sometime.
Leila?
Yes, Throckmorton.
Nothing.
We've had a lot of fun together. Do you remember the time we went on the picnic out by the old haunted house?
Sure.
And we took off our shoes and stockings and played in the brook. And then we lay on the grass and looked up at the great big white clouds.
I remember.
That was a perfect day.
Perfect.
Until that old cow came and chased us away.
Yeah, it chased you away. You thought it was a bull.
So did you. But you were brave.
Yeah.
Do you believe in fate, Throckmorton?
Fate?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I never thought much about it.
I believe in it. I think that fate throws people together for a reason. It's not just accident.
Huh? How do you mean?
Well, just think. If I hadn't come to Summerfield, I never would have met you. That's fate.
Yes, you're right. I never thought of it that way.
And now, just because I went south for the summer, fate has decreed I'm to be married. It's almost uncanny. If I hadn't gone down there, who knows?
I didn't know you had this deep side, do you, Leila?
Oh, I have. I don't often show it, that's all.
Leila?
Yes, Throckmorton. I'm afraid that's my train, Throckmorton.
Yeah, that's right. Whistling from Moore Junction.
Can you get my bag?
Yeah, I'll get it, Leila.
That's not my train, is it?
No, that's just a switch engine. Your train won't be here for another minute or two.
Another minute. And then you may never see me again.
Leila?
I'm sorry.
Leila?
Yes, Throckmorton.
About this fellow, Julian Henry. Would have it made any difference if I'd asked you to marry me.
Yes, Throckmorton. It might have made a great deal. There's my train. The train that's taken me to my wedding, Throckmorton. I feel terribly alone. I'm a little frightened going down there to marry Julian Henry. I don't really know him so very well. He's terribly nice, of course, and he's built up a fine family. I'm such a thing to marry. What did you say, Throckmorton?
I didn't say anything, Leila.
Did you hear what I was saying just before the train came in? I'm frightened, Throckmorton. Maybe I shouldn't rush into this.
Leila.
I said I'm frightened. Maybe I shouldn't take this
Leila,
train.
I'm sure you're going to be very happy. You'll get used to Julian Henry. There's nothing to be nervous about. Now, here's your little bag. Now, you get in the train and have a good night's rest, and you'll feel just like getting married tomorrow.
You don't have to shove me.
Goodbye, Leila. Goodbye, Leila.
Goodbye, you
We'll hear from the great Gildersleeve again very shortly. You women who are trying to serve good, nourishing meals within limits of the family budget know how important it is to keep a sharp lookout for the best values in food. And that's why we've been reminding you to look first for delicious, nourishing Parquet margarine when you shop for your family's spread for bread. Among good energy foods, Parquet margarine is one of the finest, made of rich, wholesome farm ingredients and fortified with important vitamin A. Yet, Parquet usually sells for less than half the price of costly spreads. Right now, all the Parquet Kraft can possibly make with the limited supplies available is being distributed as fairly as possible to food dealers all over the country. So be sure to look first for delicious, economical Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going over to Kay Kaiser's College of Musical Knowledge a little later tonight. Try to win a few dollars. So stay tuned to the Senior Network, and I'll say goodnight to you later. Good night. Oh,
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Lillian Randolph as Bertie, and Shirley Mitchell as Leila Ransom. Judge Hooker is Earl Ross, and Dick LeGrand plays Mr. Peavy. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Tried Pabst-ett, the cheese food that's really different. Rich and mellow cheddar cheese flavor, easy to serve in a variety of tempting ways. Pabstet spreads easily for sandwich making, melts smoothly into an appetizing golden cheese sauce, and it slices in a distinctive way, for Pabstet can be cut into neat wedges when chilled for serving with desserts. Why not buy both varieties of this delicious, nourishing cheese food? Ask for pimento Pabstet in the red package and golden cheddar Pabstet in the familiar round yellow package.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.